Dallas on the Plains, Jay Ferg Field at Buffalo Stadium, and I can say it with a huge smile on my face that football is officially back. The West Texas A&M Buffaloes open the 2021 campaign tonight, hosting the Texas College Steers, who hail from Tyler, Texas. I'm Lucas Kinsey alongside my broadcast partner Bryce Sheets, and man, does it feel good to be back in this press box again, Bryce. To see the fans out tailgating earlier today as we made it up here to the stadium. The food looked and smelled delicious, by the way. The band, we heard them warming up. They looked great, sounded great, and now we see the fans that are settling into their seats as they're ready for what should be a very fun night here at Buffalo Stadium. And so, Bryce, WT, they return so many talented players from last season, even though it was a shortened season. They played 6 games, which was more than anyone else in Division II. But a lot of younger players, they earned valuable experience last year. What should be the expectations for Buff Nation with this team this year?
Well, I think there's a lot of expectation for this club because, again, you did have the year last year where everybody got experience, everybody got a chance to play, but they didn't lose a year of eligibility, so they got to keep that year. And so what should you see for West Texas this year? Of course, obviously offensively, the offensive line is bigger and it's thicker. And when I say that, I just mean they can go deeper with more players offensively to come to the line. Wide receivers are questionable. We still don't know too much about them, but the running backs are talented and they're quick, and that's going to be obvious plus for the Buffaloes this year. Then defensively, the front three, again, have experience. Their backups, though, are young, but they're big. That's a big thing. And
then some good linebackers, though, right?
And they got some great linebackers. Got some freshmen and redshirt freshmen that'll play there as well. And then the secondary, we like the quickness, we like the speed.
Yeah.
We'll see how that plays out tonight.
We're excited for the product out on the field tonight. We know Buff Nation is as well. Now, the opponent tonight for West Texas A&M, the Texas College Steers. What do we know about Texas College? Well, they're an NAIA school from the Sooner Athletic Conference. The Steers, they definitely have a head coach that a lot of football fans know who he is, and I think Kent Johnson's going to talk to us more about him in just a little bit. But Lone Star State definitely familiar with Greg Ellis, the former Dallas Cowboy All-Pro, who took the job at Texas College in July of 2020. So, Bryce, the Steers didn't play last fall. Looked just like a lot of teams in college football did not play, and so you know they're going to be excited to get on the field tonight.
Yeah, they're just like every other college team that can't wait to go play somebody else.
Yeah.
You're not playing in practice. You're not going against no. In fact, Coach Hughes talked about that the other day on your show, and the fact that the players defensively know what the offense is running, and the offense knows what the defense is, kind of their sets are. So this is like everybody else. You can't wait to get out on the field and play against somebody else.
All right, well, when we come back after this first break, we'll hear from Buff's head coach Hunter Hughes. You're watching Buffalo football right here on the Lone Star Conference Digital Network.
That we work for you, dedicated team members who guide you every step of the way. That is the Jay Ferg advantage. Quality, experience, fast pass scheduling, customer rewards. We have it all. Call Jay Ferg Roofing today for a free inspection. We are Jay Ferg Roofing. We are more.
A smile is understood in any language. It represents joy, love, and shows you care. At Full Smile Dental, our mission is to build lifelong relationships one smile at a time by providing accessible, compassionate, quality care with the personal touch of friendship. Come see us at Full Smile Dental, located in Canyon, Amarillo, Dumas, and Dalhart, and ask us about our free Whitening for Life program.
Number one thing I'm looking forward to, and one of the reasons we moved this to a Thursday night, was for our student body to see what happens and remember what goes on game day here now with the whole tailgate experience, with the Buff Walk coming down through the tailgate, and then actual game itself. So we wanted them, as an athletic department, wanted the student body to be more involved, and hopefully they'll come have a good time and continue to come back and stay on the weekends and support us. I think the biggest thing our players have talked about, I'm looking forward to, is that Buff Walk coming to the stadium. I think that's a very exciting type deal for us and our players. And last year we did that walk still, and had a handful of parents sitting at the end. So to smell the tailgaters, to hear the bands, to hear the music, to everybody cheering and clapping, and hopefully we'll have 3,000 people out there if we can get it. Just a good excitement, a good start to the game.
you've been high on your offense, since we talked to you and talked to Lance about it. Is this maybe potentially the best offense you've put on the field here in 5 years?
Oh, absolutely. It has the potential to be the best with, got basically our entire offensive line returning. We've added a new guy in there, Jacoby Lott. He's blended in really well. Nick's another year. He's got a year under Coach Martin, and with Khalil and Brendan Blair, and with Jordan Johnson back, and Jeremy Conbay and Max Perez, we could go 13 and 14 personnel and just hand the ball to any running back, and I feel like we'd be successful. I keep pushing to do that, but they don't want to. They want to get these little receivers involved. But I think if there is a issue in depth, it is a receiver. I think we've got some really outstanding receivers. The depth part comes with the fact that there's not a lot of experience in that room right now. Here, we've got some guys that have played. Noah Bogardus came in from Azusa Pacific last spring. Hunter Kaufman came in from Kansas last spring. So I think that, I say experience-wise, I say experience playing here at West Texas for us. So, but yeah, I think it's, there's potential doesn't do anything. Right? We just have to set you up for failure, I think. So I'll say that we have a lot of potential. We'll see what happens when they see something different.
So talk about Texas College, talk about this matchup and how you're feeling with your team coming into that.
I just know that Texas College are the Steers, and they're from Tyler, Texas. We've got zero film. We got nothing. We're going into this thing blind. I know their head coach is Greg Ellis, who's got a couple of Super Bowl rings, and from the Cowboys. So knowing a little bit about him, playing days, watching him play, he'll have his guys ready to go. But we have not seen any film, and they didn't play last year. So it's going to be interesting to kind of feel out what they do offensively and get a grasp on it. We have no game plan on defense. Our offense, we've been given different looks, and we've actually been going against each other in different personnel groupings. Our offense going against our defense, and then our defense doing the same thing for offense scouting. So it should be interesting. We don't know special teams wise who they have. That we don't know how they're going to line up for punt, how they're going to line up for kickoff, anything like that. So you go in and trust what you've done and keep moving forward as the game goes on. And I think it's exciting for us coaches because you got to make adjustments on the run. And that always kind of sharpens your skill.
It's got the looks, the style, the performance. Your new car is everything you always dreamed of, and now it's here. First Financial Bank was happy to help put you behind the wheel with a new car loan at a competitive rate and fast, friendly, local approval. It's service that just comes naturally to us, much like a love of tradition comes naturally to you. First Financial Bank, you first. Member FDIC.
We are Carpet Tech, and we are family. More than carpet cleaners, we're a team. Diving right in, not afraid to invest in our work and each other. We're killing it day in and day out, never shrinking from a challenge. Our people are 1 part passion, 1 part grit, and about a zillion parts awesome. And we are always looking to add to our family. So what are you waiting for?
Welcome back to Jay Ferg Field, as we had set for Texas College and West Texas A&M. And one of the things we tried to find out a little bit about was Texas College in Tyler, Texas. We don't know a lot about the Steers, but somebody that does and has done a little research is our on-field reporter, Kent Johnson. Kent, what do you know?
Well, tonight's opponent, the Texas I know that name, Greg Ellis. Yes, you do. Former University of North Carolina All-America defensive end from 1994 to 97 and an All-Pro for the Dallas Cowboys from 1997 to 2007. He was an All-Pro defensive end in the NFL, set the Dallas record for quarterback sacks during his playing years, then was cut by the Cowboys in 07, finished out his playing year or career with 1 year with the Oakland Raiders in 2008. So that's the professional career resume of Greg Ellis. How did he get to be the head coach of Texas College? Well, it's not the road that most coaches take to be head coaches at the collegiate level. Coming out of the NFL, he assisted with the Minnesota Vikings and the Cincinnati Bengals. Wasn't on the coaching staffs, didn't coach all season long with them. He would show up Monday through Wednesday at their camps and help their defensive linemen, their defensive ends with some of their technique. Then he got involved in TV and motion pictures on the production end. He did that for nearly 10 years. His most lucrative and known piece of work was a movie called Carter High. He was the director and producer for it. During that time, he had a long-running relationship with current Texas College president Michael Fennell. One day in 2019, President Fennell calls Ellis and says, I'm going to make a change in my athletic department. I'm going to let my coach go, and I need an athletic director. I'd like you to take over. As Ellis says, he's hiring me more on character than on a notebook full of resume material from me as a coach. But he said, I took it on. I knew when I came in 2020, we were going to be shut down from COVID. The team did not practice. The team did not meet in person. He could not go over schemes with his quarterbacks. Every team meeting was a Zoom meeting during 2020. They finally got to hit the field for the first time earlier last month in early August. After he had been at Texas College for over a year, he got to meet his team in person and start to put his schemes into place. I asked him, what are you going to do on offense? Do you want to spread the ball? Do you want to control the ball? He said, Kent, every team wants to take the ball and march down the field. How we're going to do it, I don't know. I've given my offensive coordinator the latitude to call the game based on what our personnel are capable of doing. Because right now, they don't know what their personnel are capable of doing in a game situation. They've only had 3 weeks in a practice situation. On the defensive side, he had a defensive coordinator. The gentleman's name was Noel Scarlett. He played briefly with the Dallas Cowboys. He became good friends with Greg Ellis. Scarlett contracted COVID. For a while, Scarlett was coaching defense from the hospital, and unfortunately, several weeks ago, Scarlett succumbed to COVID. So Greg Ellis is calling the defensive plays tonight. But again, he doesn't know what his players are capable of in a game situation. So we've got a new head coach, a new athletic director, a new team, and a lot of unknowns on that Texas College sideline. Let's go back upstairs to Lucas and Bryce.
A little bit about get on the field this year. When we take a timeout, we're going to do so. We're going to honor, when we come back, the 13 service members who were killed in Afghanistan. We'll do so after this.
How do you make something that's already fresh even fresher? By adding fresh new things, like crisp pico de gallo for a little kick, and creamy cilantro lime sauce for that extra whoa. And pepper jack cheese because, of course, all on top of 2 fresh beef patties, or with chicken on a brioche bun. Whataburger's limited time pico de gallo burger and new pico de gallo chicken sandwiches. Good thing for fresh things. Good thing there's Whataburger.
Welcome back to Jay Ferg Field at Buffalo Stadium. I want to mention that throughout tonight, our broadcast is brought to you by the Buffalo Club, and so we appreciate their support along with all of our sponsors for West Texas A&M athletics football. Obviously, a lot of things going on right now, Bryce. We're excited at halftime for our halftime show tonight, which we're putting on Holiday Express Heritage Influence. Lane Garcia, Coach Andrew Fox Sports, and I think that's tomorrow, Saturday. For Carolina Buffalo gets started. It is so good. I think it's chills right now.
Yes, yeah, yes.
For West Texas A&M, they were finding a way to get things done. So I think right now we are going to have the national anthem, and so we will step aside and we will be back after these messages right here on the Lone Star Conference Digital Network.
This is a walk-on athlete. They train longer, put their heart into the game. This is the passion we're built on. It's why we put our heart into creating game day with a taste of Louisiana. Walk-ons, we live for this.
The best tailgates start with the best beef, and the best beef starts with Market Street. Market Street, where we do beef the best.
Welcome to Shimon Dental Group, where every day we're excited to see our patients and treat them like family. We are dedicated to providing you with the highest quality care in a friendly and comfortable environment. Shimon Dental Group's patient-focused philosophy puts your needs front and center.
We are constantly investing in leading-edge technology. Innovations that speed the treatment process and improve aesthetics. We're expanding the breadth of our cosmetic and restorative services through training to provide the best possible outcomes.
Just with the level of commitment that they show to taking care of my family and I, it's absolutely unmatched in this town, so I've been very happy with them.
Brightening smiles for more than 3 decades.
Contact Shimon Dental Group for your appointment today.
When joints begin to fail, it's more than an inconvenience. The relentless grinding pain slows you down and can even stop you from doing the things you enjoy in life. At Physicians Surgical Hospitals, our skilled orthopedic experts are using advanced robotic surgeries to get you back to being you sooner with a less painful recovery. We're doing more than restoring joints. We're restoring lives.
Jay Ferg Field as we get set for college football. Yes, the first big college game in the country taking place right here at West Texas A&M. And just a reminder, too, as you look at the flags that adorned the stadium here tonight, in part in memory of the 13 who lost their life in Afghanistan. It was 1 week ago that an explosion rocked the Afghani capital, and 13 service members with the United States lost their lives.
You know, I was talking about chills earlier. That right there will give you chills, Bryce. And
Yes.
Obviously, for what those soldiers do day in and day out, giving us the freedoms that we have to be able to do the things that we do in our country, in the greatest country in the entire world.
Absolutely. I mean, you don't want to take it for granted, and I know what we do, but it's events like that sometimes that really snap us back into reality and let us know all of those service members who are out there on the line giving their lives and giving everything they have to protect the United States.
Great job there by the West Texas A&M Marching Band. And Bryce, let's talk a little bit before we get into the starting lineups. Let's talk quickly about some keys to the game for the Buffs tonight. And you talked about it, that huge offensive line, the deep offensive line. I think the Buffs want to run the ball early and often.
And they do. They really do. They feel like they have good speed. They feel like they have some quickness that they can exploit a little bit with. And that offensive line is deep. And by that, I just mean that before, in the last couple of years, maybe not so much last year, but before that, we had about 5 guys we could really count on. If somebody got hurt, then there was a little, transition going on. Right now, they feel good about 10 players that can line up in the offensive line.
You look at that stat up there. Last season, 14 rushing touchdowns, and that was just, again, in 6 games in the fall season. How about the top one there, home sweet home? We love this press box. We love this stadium. Feel like it's the best in the nation in Division II, certainly. They open up their 3rd season inside of Buffalo Stadium where in the openers, Bryce, they're perfect, 2-0.
Yeah, they really are. And again, tonight they really want to see what their team is going to do. It's not so much what Texas College is going to do. You want to get ready to defend that, but you want to see what you're going to be able to do on both sides of the ball tonight, and that's going to be a big key. You worked for weeks and weeks and weeks leading up to this ball game tonight, and you want to see if that hard work is paying off.
And then the last one there at the bottom, it says we're back, and we are back and better than ever as we Buff Nation back to 100% capacity, and we're going to continue to be safe and do the right things, but it is much like what we are used to in terms of college football and fans getting into the stadium, and really you also want to thank all of as we talk about getting back into normalcy. We want to thank the doctors and the nurses and everyone that has done everything they've done in terms of the last year and a half.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it is those people on the front lines that people kind of, again, throw a term out there, but it is those folks on the front line that really make a difference for our entire society, and so we can't thank them enough for all that they do. I have a little, obviously there's a lot of things that I can talk about from that standpoint. With COVID, but my wife was at BSA this summer on an internship program, and she just talked about the influx of people coming in. And so, again, we just thank all the medical professionals so much for all they do.
There's a good look at the Maroon Platoon as the student section getting ready for tonight's game. Let's talk starting lineups and also look at our X-Bar Steakhouse, X-Bar factors of the game, both offensively and defensively. And so we'll start with the offense. And that offense for West Texas A&M won again that last year. You look at for West Texas A&M offensively, they averaged 231 rushing yards per game, 14 rushing touchdowns, 6 yards per rush. As there's the Buffs making the walk. Coach Hughes talked about that Tuesday night. One of his favorite things is getting to walk down the ramp as they're getting ready to do and head out into the stadium. But let's look at those starting lineups. And so for West Texas A&M, we know that one of the guys obviously we're going to be talking about a lot there is the X-Bar Steakhouse factor of the game, Nick Gerber, looking there at the offensive line and the receivers and backs. But, Bryce, it starts with the guy under center, and he has gotten more confident over the last 2 seasons.
Well, and again, he's in Coach Martin's offense, and so Russ Martin, this is the 2nd year they've been together, and so he's very comfortable with what they're trying to do. And they kind of know, and Coach Hughes talked about that last year, not even into this year yet, but they just get to that point where they kind of know what to anticipate from each other. And so, yeah, it's getting that offense to roll, both on the ground and through the air. And it'll be an interesting makeup tonight to see some of the young players that come in, see how they adapt to the offense.
Nick Gerber, and one of the things Coach Hughes had mentioned is that he is unquestionably their leader. I mean, the players right at this point in his career, everyone looks to him. They know that they can trust him to make those plays. But look for the receiving core. You mentioned that. Look for those receivers. There's a lot of new guys, a few returners, Kenneth Red Jr. and Tyree Tipton, Markel Stevens-Peppers. But there's a couple of new players this year, Bryce, that we're excited to see.
Well, Hunter Kaufman is one of those that we'll be anxious to see, as he had 21 starts in the Big 12 with Kansas, and so it's one of those that he decided to come here and see what he can do with an offense that is probably more geared to his liking a little bit. And, of course, we're going to be anxious to see what Heston Marshall will do from Wheeler. He played every position you could think of at Wheeler, I think. But, obviously his speed is a big factor, so we're anxious to see what he will do out on the field tonight.
All right, let's check the defensive starters for the Buffaloes and also look at the X-Bar Steakhouse X factor of the game, and that is Eric Collins, one of the senior linebackers. And we've gotten spoiled with some really good linebackers for as long as you and I have been covering the Buffaloes, Bryce, going back to Carter James and Trevor Michael Bust, Hayden Dennis, Frank Honang. There's been so many good ones. And there's this year, the linebackers are outstanding yet again.
Well, they really are. Eric Collins, of course, will lead the group, as he is, one of those that you just count on every ball game. Chris Thomas, of course, is another one that people are familiar with. And then some other players that maybe not have heard too much about, but the coaching staff is real thrilled about. Cole Oster is getting the start tonight, and Taylor Hickerson will also get the start. And so we'll see how they blend with the veteran players.
And Eric Collins, as we're getting to see some of his highlights from last year, 2018 second team All-LSC, 2019 first team All-LSC. And he doesn't rack up, tons of tackles, but what he does is the plays that he makes are at the most crucial time.
Well, and the thing that's important with Eric is that he has that nose for the football. He knows where the play is going to develop to, and he tries to get there and make things happen and does such a great job.
Now, defensively, Bryce, the one area that I think Coach Hughes and I think J.T. Haddon would chime in and say the exact same thing. The position group that needs to have the most growth this year is up front. It's the defensive line. And talk about some of those defensive linemen that they're going to be counting on.
So you got three guys that have had playing experience here at West Texas. You got Dylan Mata, Xavier Rivera, and Jalen Hill. They've all had playing experience here at West Texas. But what JT is excited about are the three true freshmen that are playing behind them, and that will get filtered in as the night progresses. And then, of course, you've got the college transfer Samote Samate, who's coming in as well.
That's just a great defensive name.
It's an awesome name. Samote comes in 6'3", 260, and so that's what they're going to be excited about to see how they rotate in.
Testing. Looks like the captain's getting ready to make their way toward midfield. They just need one thing, Bryce. They need Texas College out on the field.
That is one of the things that's important.
The Steers are not out on the field yet.
They just went and got the captain, so they're making their way out.
Yeah, so, guys, we got a game that is going to start in about 3 minutes.
And again, the thing that's important to realize, they did not play last year.
That's right.
Got a new coaching staff, and so as far as and I don't want to say fundamentals, but really the nuances of timing and everything else, that's going to be new for them as well, as the officials go back and get the captains and bring them out as they make their way to the field.
And tonight, as we mentioned, the captains, it looks like it will be for West Texas A&M. You have the center, Zane Madison, a sophomore from Van Alstyne, Texas. Also, number 32, look at that, Heston Marshall.
Gets to be a captain.
Yes, that tells you what Coach Hughes thinks of the true freshman out of Wheeler. And then also one of our favorite players wearing number 10, Ayrton Payne. Good to see him back on the field. Talk a little bit about Ayrton, Bryce.
Oh, my land. If you want a special teams play, Ayrton Payne is the guy that'll get it for you. And so he's been so much fun to watch in his career here. Also getting a defensive start tonight as well. And so we'll get to watch what he can do.
And then number 28 there making his way toward midfield is Satchel Escalante. We learned him very quickly last season, Bryce. Transfer a year ago from Idaho.
And again, just a fun player to watch, great speed, and so Satchel kind of makes things happen. He, too, is one of those that has a nose for the football.
Yeah, last year Escalante, 13 tackles in the final game of the season against Pitt State, but the big play was in the Angelo State game when he had an interception return, 87 yards for a touchdown. I want to mention the officials.
Gentlemen, we're going to toss
for
the
tonight.
coin.
The referee,
start the game.
Javito Sabal.
There's the heads.
And he is talking to the captains right now.
Number one, you're going to call tails? Okay. Number one, call tails. I'm going to toss it right now. It is tails. You will defer to the second half. Which way do you want to kick?
You
okay, stay put, gentlemen. Right. Texas College has deferred to the second half. WT will receive.
So we will see the Buff offense to start things off. The rest of the officiating crew tonight, the umpire Oscar Shorten, head linesman Juan Dominguez, your field judge is Zach Simmons, line judge LG Hill, side judge Jonathan Shorten, back judge Evan Baker, and the center judge is Brian Hall. I'm Lucas Kinsey alongside Bryce Sheets. Kent Johnson will be roaming the sideline for us downstairs. Your Thunder Vision director tonight, Mr. Chris Jaquist. Great to be back with Chris.
Great to be with Chris. We appreciate all that he does.
And great to be back with this crew right here, Bryce. That good-looking crew down there.
Absolutely.
With a lot of WT maroon and white painted on their face. And
and that was a key. That's why Coach Hughes wanted a Thursday night. He wanted the students to be able to come and watch while they're on campus. And so a lot of students have made their way. In fact, if you look across the way, a lot of students have made their way here to Buff Stadium to watch this get-together tonight with Texas College.
There's a hardworking Tyson Jex down there trying to get that Lions Realty cannon, the T-shirt cannon going. And so we will see this WT offense to start. We'll see the return game, and we've already mentioned him, and he's a captain for tonight, but Heston Marshall, and I have on my spotter board here, in all caps, fast. And this guy played quarterback. He played running back, wide receiver, linebacker, safety, all of that obviously at Wheeler in high school. And an interesting note here, he ran for, just 6,373 yards in his high school career.
So he really didn't do a whole lot while he was at Wheeler. But
it's just like 1,000 more than you, Bryce, back in
several
Indiana.
Several thousand more than you. But the neat thing about him is that Coach Hughes talked about they were surprised really how
they
he
had him
exploded.
At linebacker.
Yeah, they had him at linebacker. They were surprised how he exploded in camp, and they said they couldn't just keep his speed on defense, and that's why he said he would start as one of the kickoff men for tonight's game.
The Buffs are ready. Still waiting a little bit on Texas College to get their kickoff team out. And tonight's broadcast is brought to you by the Buffalo Club. For West Texas A&M and head coach Hunter Hughes, the Nashville native, his first season for WT 3-8, second season 6-5, third season, Bryce, they nearly made the playoffs, had a couple of close losses, but they finished 8-3. Last year, obviously, play 6 games, do what you can to get out on the field with COVID-19 and all that. And they went 3-3, and so he's back. His offensive coordinator is back as well, Russ Martin.
Yeah, and that's the thing. Russ brings years of experience. He was the head coach at Mesa for 8 years, and so he brings a lot of knowledge of the game, obviously. And as we talked about, he and Nick Gerber have connected really well. They're kind of on the same page of what they need to do offensively, so Nick really knows what he feels like Coach Martin wants him to run. And yes, they'll look over, they'll flash in the signals and everything else, but he'll already have a sense of what to do on the next play.
Buffaloes were picked preseason in the Lone Star Conference third behind Texas A&M Commerce at the top. Angelo State was picked second. And it will be for Texas College, Keith Delahousse, to kick off. We just got these rosters Today.
And so we apologize ahead of time if we struggle with some names. But again, a new program, trying to get everything going. We really appreciate their SID getting as much information as they could.
Also back to receive will be Hunter Kaufman, the transfer from Kansas. It's a squib kick that will fall into the hands of Heston Marshall at the 6-yard line. He's got a lot of room, and he just tripped up as he gets across the 30 up to the 31-yard line. That's a good special teams tackle down there for Texas College because you could tell he was starting to get that momentum.
He was. In fact, he had an open lane. John Brown Jr. is the one that came up and made that special teams tackle. Had he not, Heston would still be running right now.
So I mentioned Hunter Kaufman wearing number 81, a 5'11", 180-pound sophomore from Kansas. A couple of transfers from Kansas. The other one is the starting left guard, Jacoby Lott. That offensive line from left to right, Adam Alcorta at the tackle spot, Jacoby Lott at guard, Zane Madison at the center, Zach Dietrich at right guard, and Parker Hanna at tackle. On first down, they just go right up the middle, and watch out at the 45-50, staying on his feet. And Khalil Harris on the first offensive play into the end zone. That didn't take long. Stampede, baby.
And I'll tell you what, Khalil Harris got great blocking up front and got a great crackback block. The one that's not illegal right now because they did change some rules. But it got a great block as in front of him, and that allowed him to get into the end zone at great speed. That's kind of what we talked about with the running game.
69-yard run on the opening offensive play for West Texas A&M, and that is how you start the season right there. Great job blocking, and Khalil Harris gets to the end zone. The extra point is up from Gage Urias, and it's right down the middle. So West Texas A&M only 19 seconds into the 2021 season, and they lead 7-0 over Texas College. We're back after this timeout. You're watching Buffalo football right here on the Lone Star Conference Digital Network.
Great blocking up front, and Khalil Harris with a little sidestep here, gets away from one tackler, and then it's just off to the races, and then gets a great block right up to free him to get in the end zone. 69 yards on the return. The Gage Urias extra point is good, and with 14:41 left to play in the ball game, WT leads this one 7-0.
Okay, so last season I put that up on Twitter for who was going to score the first touchdown. Nick Gerber was the recipient last season, and this season it goes to number 34, Khalil Harris. Coach Hughes really was talking him up the other night, saying he felt like he could have a breakout season. This will be returned for Texas College, just short of the 10-yard line, trying to find some running room, bouncing outside to the 20, 25, 30. Good return and good speed on the outside from Diamond Woods, one of the running backs for Texas College. No flags on the play. And, Bryce, you were noticing this in pregame. Texas College didn't look like they had a lot of size, but they did look fast.
They did. They had some speed, and they showed it. And their quarterback, who's coming out right now, Jerry Mocasino, has great touch with the football. By the way, Mauricio Gonzalez was kicking off on that one, so he got a chance to kick off here in tonight's ball game.
I think we'll see both Mauricio and Gage Urias. And we will see now for the Texas College Steers, the offense will step onto the field and have great field position to start things off. It's Jerry McConaughey Jr. who will be the signal caller, and he'll work from the shotgun on first down. And they took too long, I believe, getting out of the huddle, and so it'll be a delay of game.
And again, I am going to give a lot of grace
on the offense.
Texas
5-yard
College.
penalty.
They're
First down.
nervous. This is their first game in 2 years. They're on the road. They're the road team. And so you know there are butterflies all over the place for them. And so they're just trying to get calmed down. That's what Coach Ellis wants to do, is just get them calmed down so they can go out and play.
Mentioned it, that getting the start for the Buffaloes at outside linebacker. Watch out for freshman Cole Oster, the transfer from Montana State on the first play. Trying to find a receiver downfield, and it was good pursuit from Xavier Rivera and company. Jalen Hill, the entire defensive line, chasing the quarterback out of bounds.
Referee just got wiped out trying to get over there to mark the spot. And so they did get back to the line of scrimmage. I was looking to see if indeed they had lost it.
So a short gain.
So the yard marker is way back there. Now they're going to move the football. So they did lose. I thought they did. They didn't get back to the line of scrimmage. But so now they mark it back. So the yard marker was correct on this one.
And the football placed on the 29-yard line. Second down and long here for the Texas College Steers. Two running backs will work in the backfield as the receiver goes in motion. For the quarterback, McConaughey, the pass thrown on the outside and caught. Good catch. The ball was a little outside, but the catch made. A good grab on the outside made by number 6. And that is Derek Cooper, the wide receiver on the outside. Good coverage, good tackling. That's what you want to see defensively early, is good tackling.
And you're absolutely right. Jacoby Sheffield, again, as soon as the ball got there, he was wrapping up his legs, didn't allow him to move forward.
So third down and 7, 13:34 left to play first quarter. Eric Collins chasing McConaughey. Now he's got 4 buff defenders in his face, and he's going to be dumped. That one's going to be credited to J.T. Cavender, but really that's a scary situation there for McConaughey. Nowhere to go, and he's got 4 maroon jerseys piling on.
And absolutely, and again, go back to what we talked about as we watch it on the replay. Eric Collins is coming in from the right side, puts pressure on him, and McConaughey sees all maroon shirts, so he just goes down, does the smart play.
It's the first sack of the contest for the Buffs defense, which last year in just 6 games they had 13 sacks. And we'll see Heston Marshall standing on his own 30-yard line, set to return the punt, which is end over end and bounces into his hands at the 29-yard line. He's going to go to the far side of the field looking for some blocks, finds a couple, and then is run out of bounds near midfield. Good running there.
That really was, because he really didn't have anywhere to go, but was patient to wait for a block, then got to the outside and turned it upfield, about got to midfield.
So we'll see the Buff offense come back out. First time we saw them, it was one play, and they were in the end zone scoring the touchdown with Khalil Harris.
Media timeout.
And so there's a timeout on the field. Actually, give me a chance here. I want to mention Bryce tonight, and if we can maybe get a shot of the Buffalo on the far side where the flags are, but there's a maroon wreath right there. You see it around the Buffalo's neck. And so during the first Friday festival this past Friday night, students gathered at midnight to adorn the white buffalo with love from current students. And so they tied the ribbons on the wreath to show their pride in West Texas A&M University. Student body president placed the wreath around the neck of the buffalo. And after the Buffs get that win tonight, right, Bryce, the wreath will be removed until the first Friday of the next academic year. And so that's a really cool tradition.
It's a nice tradition, absolutely. And again, credit to the student. And that's the fun thing about, tonight. You talked about it in the pregame, not only getting the fans back in the stadium, but getting the student fans out here. And so great crowd has made their way in. They're still filing in and getting ready for this one tonight. And again, already the Buffalo's off to a 7-0 lead, and they have the football.
And on the field right now for the Buffs, a couple of receivers to the near side. Jeremy Carnbay is the tight end. We're going to see 3 or 4 really good tight ends throughout the ballgame tonight. But Carnbay, a senior from Portales, is set to the far side. Harris, the running back. And on 1st and 10, they'll throw across the middle. Tyree Tipton. That's a first down, and he is slippery.
He's very slick, and again, almost got away on that one. Great open field tackle to stop him, because had he not, he only had one man to beat, and he would have been off to the races.
So a good strike from Nick Gerber to Tyree Tipton. Buffs move the football quickly down inside the 35-yard line at the 33, already up 7-0, and still 12-10 to play in the first quarter. They'll fake it to Harris, throw. The receiver makes a tough catch with 2 defenders around him. That one's going to go to the outside to Noah Bagardis, the transfer out of Azusa Pacific. He was here all spring. 6'1", 185-pound junior, and Bryce, they really like him.
Well, Lorenz Clark was right on him defensively and made the stop, but what a great catch you just saw right there as he was able to pull that one in for a nice reception.
So a couple of nice pass completions back-to-back. Tipton with the first one, and Noah Bagardis with that last catch has the Buffs 1st and 10 inside the 15-yard line. This time it's Harris. Needs one block, cuts it inside, tries to reach across. I think he's out of bounds short of the goal line. He will have a first down. It'll be 1st and goal. And right now, this offensive line is doing whatever they want.
Well, that's the thing. You can see those 2 pass completions that Nick Gerber completed. He had time to survey, look over the field. And again, Khalil is able to, his vision is allowing him to look up the field and pick his holes because the line is giving him those kind of blocks.
Well, Bryce, look who's out on the field on 1st and goal. They call him Pawpaw, number 16, Jordan Johnson.
I am good for the season right now.
And Pawpaw takes it, and he takes the defender who's hanging onto the shoestrings into the end zone. Touchdown, Jordan Johnson, and the Buffs lead by 2 scores.
What a great run that time again, going behind the offensive line, and Jordan really almost can walk in as he is. He's being sort of tackled. They grabbed his shoe and held on.
You think any of these LSC opponents might be watching the broadcast tonight going, are you kidding me? That can't be right. But Jordan Johnson still had that 1 year of eligibility left, came back for the Buffs, and he scores a touchdown on the opening game of the season. The extra point is good for Urias, and it's 14-0 just like that. Here's Jordan, easy like Sunday morning on a Thursday night, touchdown Buffs.
Yeah, beautiful.
We'll be back after this timeout. You're watching West Texas A&M football on the Lone Star Conference Digital Network.
Welcome to MetaDrive Pharmacy, Canyon's hometown pharmacy for over 32 years. We greet you by name, and our pharmacists take the time to counsel you and answer all your questions. Our Health Mart Pharmacy specializes in serving our community with fast, friendly, professional service and the highest quality medicines and health products. We accept most insurance plans, including Medicaid and Medicare, and we offer free in-town delivery to your home or business. Come visit us for all your healthcare needs.
Welcome back to Jay Ferg Field, a 4-play drive that goes 53 yards. It's capped off by that 1 yard run by Jordan Johnson. The extra point is good. And with 11:01 left to play here in the first quarter, the Buffs on their opening 2 possessions have scored 2 touchdowns.
And Bryce, for Jordan, that was his 15th career rushing touchdown. He also has 7 receiving touchdowns. Such a valuable player. And he's one of those players that you really don't have, he doesn't have to have too many snaps.
No.
When he's on the field, he is effective. Here's the kickoff, fielded to the 5-yard line for Texas College. Ooh, some good moves. And then the ball's loose. It's fumbled into the hands of one of the Steer players at the 35-yard line. What a wild, as Nick Long, the high school broadcaster, would say, a wild and woolly play.
Well, and I'm trying to think.
It's a return to the 40-yard line.
Because it was fumbled forward, and so it's interesting. They are going to mark it to the forward spot at the 40-yard line.
You can see one of the officials laughing down there on the field.
Yeah, it was right place, right time.
Here it is on the return from Diamond Woods. Look at him stick his foot in the ground and make the defender
Gets away
miss.
from Marshall, and then the hit right there by Jared Compton is what prompted it.
Ooh.
And it's carried forward to the 40.
All right, so the Buff defense, which did a good job on its first possession on the field. Handoff to Woods, tripped up. That's Dylan Mata. You know, not a bone-crushing hit, but a great tackle. Just grabs the foot, and look at the play. It's a loss of 3.
And what the coaches are going to like is that he stayed with it. In other words, again, he really was beat, but he stayed with it and made a swipe tag to grab a foot and trip up the running back.
So Diamond Woods showing he's got some quickness. DeJuan Hill is in front of him. He's kind of the fullback as we see the Steers go under center. McConaughey on second down and long with his team trailing by a couple of scores. He'll roll the right. Eric Collins chasing again. Good block by 68 there. Another good block, and McConaughey uses some speed to get out of bounds close to the 40-yard line. There was a late penalty marker, though.
Well, and you said that was a great block by Rudy Benavides.
I think another flag has been thrown as some pushing and shoving was going on well after the play was over. As you saw, a couple of Buff defensive linemen really got hit pretty hard.
Well, and the official, the captain out there, he has thrown his hat. So, again, that means he threw a flag and a hat. And so they're just talking over what is going on out on the field. And, again, keep in mind.
Well, it looked like they were legal pillback
Yeah,
blocks,
it really
I think.
did. I think so. Benavides, it looked like he came back and was facing, as we see on the replay. You watch him come in. He's facing the opponent.
It was the second one, maybe up top by 69.
And so that's where a lot of the extracurricular took place. They're sorting this one out. They're going to come over and talk to Hunter Hughes.
You know, the old rule, the way the coaches teach it, is on that peelback, you got to see numbers if you're going to obviously make that block and have the defender have an opportunity to turn and at least get a look at the blocker before you put the Olay on. We see some defensive substitutions. Here's a call from Reed.
Personal foul, blindside block on the offense, number 69. Penalty is declined. A dead ball foul on sportsmanlike conduct, number 69. Penalized 15 yards. It'll be third down. It is his first.
A couple of mistakes there.
Well, it's the unsportsman one, and that's what the coaches are going to talk about a little bit for Texas College as well. The fact that, okay, you don't agree with the call, I don't agree with the call, but then you got to just let it go from there. And so that's what they'll talk about with Bobby Stevenson is who they said that was on.
3rd down and long, and the ball is on the turf. So now it's going to be 4th down and forever. Just a low snap that McConaughey was able to dive on and just save what he could.
Saw some of the freshmen come out. Eric Goodman came out on that defensive line. He got a chance to go out there as well. And again, as we talked about, J.T. Haddon was talking about how excited he was to watch them kind of develop and slide into the rotation here. And so, again, the Buffaloes able to make something happen defensively. As you look at it, the Buffs with 122 total yards. Texas College has -8 so far.
It'll be Delahousse to punt this football away. This is a nice high spiraling kick that Marshall fields at the 38-yard line. Picks up a block, another one from Nosey. He's at the 40, 35. Marshall with the speed down the sideline, stays in bounds. What a return.
What a hit.
Yeah, he
got
delivered
rocked
at
the 15-yard line. And so
they're going to mark him out at around the 13-yard line. Heston Marshall.
Coach Hughes talked about that. That's the thing. He doesn't really take a direct hit in practice. He's real good
media timeout.
At sliding by it. That one I think he felt.
All right, we'll step aside, take a quick timeout, come back with more here from Jay Ferg Field at Buffalo Stadium. WT already leads 14-0. You're watching West Texas A&M football on the Lone Star Conference Digital Network.
Choosing the right countertops for your kitchen can be tricky. Nowadays, there are hundreds of colors, patterns, and textures and materials that range from natural to engineered stone. Marble Depot is here for you throughout every step of the process. And yes, we do have a lot of options that might make that decision a little harder, but we're also going to ask the right questions so that you get the most out of your investment. So come by our showroom and let us help create what you've been dreaming of.
For 90 years, the Lone Star Conference has been committed to excellence. What began in 1931 as a 5-team conference has grown to 18 institutions spanning 4 states. And while membership has changed, the pursuit of athletic success and academic excellence has never wavered. 119 national championships, over 2,000 All-Americans, and nearly 300 academic All-Americans. Celebrating 90 years of success, this is the Lone Star Conference.
Field, the Buffaloes lead this one 14-0 on their first 2 possessions. They scored twice, and on the great Heston Marshall return,
it was a 50-yard return.
It was. They're at the 13-yard line to run the offense.
Okay, and we also see Jared Compton wearing number 1. He comes in. He's what we call the fantasy football option. Can run it or can catch it. It's a handoff to Harris, though, right up the middle. Khalil takes on several defenders and gains yardage near the 5-yard line. We saw Jared last year, Bryce, in the fall in those 6 games kind of make a transition a little bit from running back to slot receiver.
Right.
And I think they just like the fact that he can do either.
And the thing about it, I mean, Jared's, good build, good everything, good quickness, good speed. Not as big as his dad, JR, who played here. Not quite as big, but has tremendous speed. And so they want to take advantage of that as much as they can.
It's a run of 7 yards by Khalil Harris. 2 receivers to the near side, Kenneth Red Jr. and MSP. They're going to hand it off, and right over the left side into the end zone is Khalil Harris. Touchdown, Buffaloes.
Well, credit Zach Dietrich. He was the pulling guard from the right side to the left side. He pulls around and then just opens up a huge hole for Khalil Harris to run through. It was awesome.
It's almost not fair, Bryce. You got 290-pound Dietrich, Parker Hanna at 295, and Jordan Johnson was in there. He's 250, and Maxwell Perez was in as well. He's 6'4", 245 pounds. So Khalil Harris says, yes, give me that ball and get me in the end zone, fellas. The extra point from Urias is through. Buffs looking strong to start the 2021 campaign. They're up 21-0 over Texas College. And we're back after these messages here on the Lone Star Conference Digital Network.
Jenkins Doors and Windows began serving the Texas Panhandle in 1927, and we take pride in being a part of your neighborhood. We don't use false promises or gimmicks. We simply offer quality doors and windows at a fair price, and we stand behind every sale. Jenkins is family owned and operated, and proudly continues the traditions of quality and excellence that started over 80 years ago. Call us at 372-4336 or stop by our showroom at 820 West 6th and let our knowledgeable staff help you pick out the perfect doors and windows for your home.
A great time out there, Bryce.
I'll tell you what, it's a fun atmosphere right now. The Buffs leading 21-0, a two-play drive. It's kept off with the run by Harris, Urias with the extra point, and the Buffs lead this one 21-0. Again, we kind of anticipated this, but again, the Buffalo offense looks so strong, and so too does the Buffalo defense. So really, hats off to the early part of the campaign.
And we talked about this before we went on air, Bryce. This is one of those games that is a little dangerous from a coach's perspective because it's an NAIA opponent, and you say, from the outside looking in, well, you better win this one big. Well, right now they're doing the job, obviously 21-0, but Texas College has some talent. They've got some guys with some speed. Buffs will have to continue to stay disciplined.
Exactly, and again, each offensive set so far, the Buffs have been able to finish it off in the end zone. Again, now the kickoff, they're shuttling. It's interesting, they've changed their personnel setting quite a bit. So we'll see what that has to do with anything. Here's the kickoff.
And it's going to be fielded by number 18, Luke Adam. He's up to the 25-yard line, and then smart play there just goes out of bounds as Jared Compton was ready to make that tackle. But some good moves, and again, good field position. If you're Texas College right now, got to find some offensive rhythm. And they also, Bryce, they've had too many penalties to start this first quarter.
Yeah, they really have, and that's the thing that I think that probably most frustrating for Greg Ellis, the fact that, they've only had negative 2 yards of offense. They haven't been able to get anything going. They thought they could in the run game, but again, credit the defenses. They've kind of bunched it out to the outside a little bit, forcing everything or funneling everything to the inside, and that's where the Buffs have been able to take advantage.
And they do have some big linemen. We don't have on the roster, the team roster, the height or weight, but there's some big size out there up front for the Steers. High formation and movement this time before they can get the play started up front. Should be a procedure penalty against the Steers.
Ball start on the offense. Number 75, 5-yard penalty, first down.
Again, just still a little anxiousness. You're wanting to make a good play. You're trying to get off on the right snap count. And so unfortunately for the Steers, Jalen Benton just a little bit too early on that one. And it was a nicely designed play. Let's see if they stay with it.
Buffs bring in number 96, another young player at the defensive line spot, Michael Smith, 6-foot, 250-pounder out of Kansas City, Missouri. He's over on the left side. The pass is thrown, caught, and then spinning off of Chris Thomas's would-be tackle on the outside is number 6 for Texas College, and that is Derek Cooper on the reception. Good yardage gain, so that sets up a second down and about 7.
Well, credit McConico, because as he got rid of it, he was blasted by J.T. Cavender. And again, Eric Collins comes on a blitz, Cavender comes on a blitz, so too do 2 other players, and so he just barely got rid of it.
Out of the gun, McConico takes his drop, being pressured, steps up, and nearly intercepted. That was good job in coverage by Satchel Escalante. The pass was thrown short thanks to the Buffs rush that they had. But right there you can see on the replay, look at Escalante. He is just playing center field and just saying, come on, throw it to me.
Well, again, you watch Eric Collins' little loop to the inside, forces the quarterback to the outside. And so he's got to get rid of it, and he's hit just as he does. And Escalante is right there. He was the closest one to the football. Almost came away with a pick interception.
Yeah.
Probably not because he was falling down, so it probably just been an interception. It's easy to say pick 6, but I don't think he would have stayed on his feet.
So third down and long now for Texas College. Still in the first quarter, under 7 minutes to play, and WT leading by 3 scores. And pressure up the middle. Chris Thomas will be credited for that sack as McConico had no chance on that play, just dumped all the way back to the 18-yard line. Jailbreak there.
Yeah, and that's really what it is. I mean, they bring everybody up, and so you got 7 on 5. Basically, that's what's happening. So the front 7 are confident enough in the secondary that they could all rush the quarterback, and there's just nowhere for the lineman to block, not enough hats to help out, and so that's why McConico was dumped to the turf.
And we love number 31, Chris Thomas, a junior from Humble, quiet kid, but got a chance to visit with him at the Lone Star Conference Media Days this summer. He's a great young man and has really improved every year since he came to WT. Heston Marshall, just a freshman, showing off his return moves as another good one across the 45 up to the 43-yard line into Steer territory. And so already, I know it's the first game. You don't want to get too crazy, but you can see why. You know, and Coach Hughes, I think, surprised some people at the media presser where he said, and look out for number 32, true freshman Heston Marshall. He'll be the return man.
And I think he said that just because, like he said, they were surprised at the speed that he had. And so, again, that's what it's one thing on film.
Yeah.
It's different in person.
Well, and sometimes when you come from a smaller school, you don't get as much credit. And people say, well, you did that at Wheeler. Well, he's doing it right now at the college football Division II level.
I'll tell you what, I'm impressed with this offensive line so far. Opening gaping holes.
Jordan Johnson's in up front as the tight end to the near side. It's going to be play action. Gerber, good protection, steps up, throws, caught by Tipton for a first down near the 25-yard line, and a perfect delivery from Nick Gerber.
And the nice thing about it is Nick had time to survey the field and saw his wide receiver break free. Nobody in the second level as he was able to make that connection and pick up the first down.
Second catch of the evening for Tipton. Gerber, perfect 3 for 3 passing for 57 yards. First and 10 Buffs. Marching, trying to put up a fourth score already in the opening quarter. It's Compton. They fake it to him, throw the out route. Good catch by Red Jr. as he carries a couple of defenders across the 20 to the 19-yard line. Kenneth Red Jr., a strong wide receiver. You know, last year he was the leading receiver in terms of receptions for the Buffaloes. 15 catches, a couple of touchdowns. Transferred a year ago in from Urbana University in Ohio because the campus shut down completely through COVID-19. And Red Jr., good, tough-minded receiver.
You know, one of the things we talked was this play develops.
They're going to throw it to him again. This time the Steers were ready for it. That's a good play coming up to make that tackle, number 40 for Texas College, Malik Guillory. But go ahead, Bryce.
And the thing we talked about in the pregame, we weren't totally sure what we're going to get with receivers so far. So far tonight, they have looked really, really good. A lot stronger than we anticipated.
This offense is more polished than since Coach Hughes maybe has been here. And he mentioned that, but just for a season opener, not making a lot of mistakes, doing what you should do.
Yeah, that's the key. Do everything perfectly as much as you can.
Third down. Call it 3rd and 5 here for the Buffs. Gerber in the pocket, good protection, steps up, throws, catch made by Markel Stevens. Peppers, watch out. What a great move. He's got the first down inside the 10 to the 8-yard line, and that is what MSP does. When he's in the open field, it reminds you of one of those little scat back players out in flag football days where you're just saying, come on, grab his flag, just grab his flag, but it's hard. Look at this.
Ray, you see the blindside tackle here, right here by Marquithus Butler. Boom, right there. Had he not made that stop, he probably would have been in the end zone.
Not sure if Markel played basketball back in high school days, but
a little crossover action.
It was. They fake it to Jared Compton. The throw was caught. What an unbelievable catch by Markel Stevens Peppers. I was trying to see who had the ball, and number 11 had the ball.
What a great toss. Great toss. And again, threading the needle. That was not an easy completion. Markel Stevens Peppers pulls that in on a really nice toss by Nick Gerber. And so the Buffs tack on 6 more.
Wondering how that one got through. As you said, the arm strength from Gerber, the placement, and then a great catch from MSP for the touchdown. The extra point is up and good from Urias. No flags. And so the Buffs, still with 3:22 to play in the opening period, lead Texas College by the score of 28-0. We'll take the timeout, come back with more Buffalo football here from Canyon, Texas after these messages.
J. Ferg Roofing has been protecting our community for 15 years. With more than 30,000 homes and businesses protected by our roofing work, we're proud of our ability to provide efficient, lasting solutions for your roofing needs. What makes us stand out from the competition is that we work for you, dedicated team members who guide you every step of the way. That is the J. Ferg advantage. Quality, experience, fast pass scheduling, customer rewards. We have it all. Call J. Ferg Roofing today for a free inspection. We are J. Ferg Roofing. We are more.
Out of the press box there, and now Bryce, 28-0, 3:22 to play. There's two ways to look at this right now. One way, the positive way, is the Buffs are doing exactly what they should be doing against Texas College. No disrespect, but obviously an NAIA opponent that did not play last season.
Right.
The other side is, well, it's Texas College, but I think if you're WT, you're happy with what's happening.
Hey, you're wanting to play somebody. You don't really care who, and so the fact they get to do that speaks volumes to the players.
This will be taken close to the end zone there by Woods, and he's able to gain yardage again. Good yardage. The return game has been good for Texas College. This is up to the 24-yard line from Diamond Woods.
Well, it's one of those two tonight. So far, the Buffaloes are averaging 18 yards per rush tonight. And again, they have 177 total yards to -7 for Texas College. This Steers just trying to find something that's going to work with 3:13 left to play in the first quarter, trailing 28-0. And I know that's where Coach Ellis goes, let's not look at the scoreboard. Let's go execute what we need to do.
Yeah, they want to build and get better as this game goes on and just see some positive plays.
Absolutely.
Tonight's broadcast brought to you by the Buffalo Club. We appreciate their support for West Texas A&M. Buffs leading 28-0. Still in the first quarter, and again, problems just getting up to the line in time, and the quarterback had to take a quick timeout. McConaughey did. Let's keep it here.
Texas
Bryce,
College.
talk about some of these statistics
First
that
timeout
we're
of the first
seeing.
half.
And it's interesting. Last season in the opener, Nick Gerber against Oklahoma Panhandle State nearly threw a perfect game, right? Is what you would say.
Yes.
He was 16 of 17 passing, had 3 touchdowns. He's off to a decent start tonight, right?
Yeah, not too bad. I mean, if you consider being 7 of 7 positive, I guess it is.
Yeah.
You throw a score or two in
Would
there.
you say
as
those are Madden numbers?
Yeah, kind of
A little bit.
Madden type game. And the thing about it is too, it's the execution. It's having the time in the pocket to throw the football, or having the time to make a good read. And that's what's happened so far for Nick. I mean, I think he'll probably come up here, whoever comes up. But if you talk to him after the game, he's going to have a big smile on his face because of what the offensive line is giving him.
And also, I think he would say his receivers are making the catches.
Yes.
Markel Stevens-Pepper is the last one to make that touchdown grab. Some movement, but no whistles, no flags. It's kind of like both sides paused for a second because it looked like the Buffs may have jumped off sides.
And
but
I thought they had, yes.
It's a gain of a couple of yards for Texas College.
Michael Smith for the Buffs was over the line, I thought, before the ball was snapped. But no flags from the officials, so timing was perfect for Michael that time, as he was able to get in and put pressure on the play.
Smith, one of the defensive ends. On the other side, Dylan Mata. And then X-Man. Good to see number 74 back out there. We love Xavier Rivera.
Yes.
Missed some time 2 seasons ago with a shoulder injury. It's a handoff to the big fullback that time, and he's going nowhere. Good defensive push for the Buffaloes on the carry. It was number 7, DeJuan Hill.
And that's the nice thing you have confidence in your secondary. They're not letting anybody get behind them. And so if you got 7 guys rushing, basically that's what's gobbling up the middle, then there's all kinds of pressure that's put on the quarterback. And the secondary can relax a little bit knowing everything will be in front of them.
And Michael Smith looking good so far.
Yes.
Again, number 96, one of the many young defensive linemen that JT Haddon was talking to us about the other night. And this, we know the defensive line is so important, and you need depth. You need a lot of guys to come in and out. 3rd down and long here for Texas College. McConaughey rolls to the right, and there is a flag. Just a little late, but
yeah, I think it was the receiver on the far side of the field took off too early, and so that's
Ball start on the offense. Number 2, 5-yard penalty. 3rd down.
Yeah, and that was on Keyshawn Henderson. And he was the right wide receiver, and he was on the far side of the field from us.
That was the 5th penalty already on Texas College.
And the thing, and I don't want to jinx anything because usually when you say it in the booth, you do, but no penalties on the Buffs as of yet.
Until this play, Bryce.
And that's, I mean, that's good for the first game with only 1:20 to play in the first quarter.
We appreciate everyone watching tonight from wherever you're watching. On the Lone Star Conference Digital Network, Lucas Kinsey alongside Bryce Sheets. Here's McConaughey, uses his speed to get outside the pocket and complete a pass. There's a flag thrown way across from where the action was taking place.
And where that flag looks like it's probably because the offensive lineman was upfield. And so that's what the official is talking to the referee about.
Give credit to McConaughey for getting out of trouble.
He got out of harm's way, yes, because he had so much pressure on him. But then the line had already released up the field. There were 2 offensive linemen up the field.
Illegal man downfield on the offense, number 70. Penalty is declined. 4th down.
Okay, so the Buffs decline the penalty, and that should be a punt coming here from Texas College. There's a look on the sideline of Russ Martin, offensive line coach. We love talking to Russ Martin. Bryce here in his second season with the Buffaloes. A lot of knowledge from Russ Martin. In fact, 42 years of experience in coaching.
I mean, as the offensive coordinator, Russ is one of those that he knows, and that's the nice thing. He's tailored the offense for the personnel. And he's got, obviously, a lot more weapons this year that he can kind of utilize and has so far in this ball game.
It'll be Heston Marshall out to return the punt as the Steers just get the 11th player out a little late. Play clock is down to 6 seconds. They got to hurry. And it's another pretty good punt that Marshall will field from the 40-yard line. Makes the first defender miss. He's going to take it to the near side into Steer territory. Again, every time Marshall has had it, his longest has been a 50-yard punt return.
Right.
But every time he has had positive yardage, and most times he has returned it, and give credit to the defense as well, but he has returned it on the other side of the 50.
33 seconds left to play here in quarter number 1. The Buffs lead it 28-0, and the offense comes out once again. And so, again, I am going to sing the praises of this offensive line that has done such a great job in tonight's contest so far with Alcorta, Lott, Madison, Dietrich, and Hanna. Parker Hanna, of course, the veteran. And they moved him from the left side to the right side tackle this year, as Adam Alcorta has stepped up as the left tackle.
And right now they've got Grayson Williams in. This is a little flare pass to Maxwell Perez, and that's exactly what we thought Maxwell Perez would do when he has the ball out in the open field, and that is use his shoulder pads. Kids, if you're watching and you wonder what those shoulder pads are for, that's what they're for.
Well, and that's what the defender is asking, too.
Here you go, Bryce.
Watch the replay. Just watch him lower his shoulder, take on the tackler, and get 2 more yards after the tackle just because he was able to knock the tackler back. He was trying to come up and make a defensive stop, and that was John Brown Jr.
The old Max truck. And that takes us to the end of quarter number 1. It has been all West Texas A&M. The Buffaloes leading 28-0 over Texas College. We'll step aside, take a timeout, come back with second quarter action right here from Buffalo Stadium on the Lone Star Conference Digital Network.
A smile is understood in any language. It represents joy, love, and shows you care. At Full Smile Dental, our mission is to build lifelong relationships one smile at a time by providing accessible, compassionate, quality care with the personal touch of friendship. Come see us at Full Smile Dental, located in Canyon, Amarillo, Dumas, and Dalhart, and ask us about our free Whitening for Life program.
It's got the looks, the style, the performance. Your new car is everything you always dreamed of, and now it's here. First Financial Bank was happy to help put you behind the wheel with a new car loan at a competitive rate and fast, friendly, local approval. It's service that just comes naturally to us, much like a love of tradition comes naturally to you. First Financial Bank, you first. Member FDIC.
Well, welcome back to Jay Ferg Field.
Hunter Hughes is having some fun.
He's having fun here in the early going. Obviously, his club up 28-0 as we get ready to start quarter number 2.
There's
the
Hunter
offense
Hughes
is out there. And again, head coach, they did the whatever race on the big screen here, and his car won. That's why he was all excited. Nevertheless, they're excited about the offense right now. 183 yards to -7, 94 of those net rushing. And again, 89 through the air as we go back with the offense on the field.
And it is Jared Compton, the running back, set to the right. A couple of tight ends in to block for him. They hand it to Compton. Tough running up the middle. Not as much there as it was good defensive pressure from the Steers. Give credit to big number 90, Adrian Burleson, for the tackle, setting up a 3rd down and short for West Texas A&M.
And credit Kevin Marr, too, that time, the defensive end on the left side, forced that play to the middle. I think Jared wanted to go the outside, and so Marr forced him to the inside, and that's where, as you talked about, Burleson was able to come up and make the stop.
Just starting the second quarter action from Jay Ferg Field at Buffalo Stadium. Gerber will look to pass, rolls to the right, eyes downfield, has a man open. It's going to be an easy touchdown, the second one for MSP. Stampede, baby, touchdown, Buffs.
Well, man, that was a great play in the secondary. Who was guarding Stevens Peppers got lost. He broke to the outside. Markel goes to the middle, and so Nick Gerber, he's probably thinking, all I've got to do is get it to him. That's all I've got to do. He's so wide open, and so did so and was able to get it into the end zone
Gerber
for the score.
Over 100 yards passing, and he's 9 for 9. 2 touchdowns, both to MSP. The extra point is good again for Urias. 35-0. WT in a rout over Texas College. We still got a lot of football to play. We'll take a timeout, come back with more action here from Jay Ferg Field at Buffalo Stadium here on the Lone Star Conference Digital Network.
We are Carpet Tech, and we are family. More than carpet cleaners, we're a team. Diving right in, not afraid to invest in our work and each other. We're killing it day in and day out, never shrinking from a challenge. Our people are 1 part passion, 1 part grit, and about a zillion parts awesome. And we are always looking to add to our family. So what are you waiting for?
Well, welcome back to Jay Ferg Field as the Buffaloes are able to take that in on a 36-yard pass completion to Markel Stevens Peppers from Nick Gerber. The extra point is good, and the Buffs lead this one 35-0 as everything so far has gone WT's way offensively and defensively.
Well, good.
They've only allowed -7 yards.
Great balance, running and throwing.
Yes.
And then also you look at the receiving core. There's been 5 different guys that have caught a pass from Nick Gerber. The return here for Texas College right up the middle from Diamond Woods.
I'll tell you what, Diamond Woods, you can tell, has good speed. And if he gets to the outside, he's going to be hard to catch up to.
Return up to the 25-yard line. I mentioned the receivers. 3 catches, 57 yards, and a couple touchdowns from Markel Stevens Peppers. Tyree Tipton, a couple of catches. Kenneth Red Jr., a couple of catches. Noah Bogardus had a tough one. And then obviously the Max truck had the catch for 6 yards, and he ran over the defender. And so you like to see Gerber going back there. When you got all the different weapons, you don't have to lock in on one receiver.
No, and that's the nice thing. That's what I mean by the offensive line. Give them credit. He is being able to really look over the field and find the more wide open player.
That's a luxury that quarterbacks don't have all the time.
No. And again, too much timeouts taken by Texas College. They had an extra player out there, so they had to wait for him to get off the field.
You know, Bryce, defensively for the Buffaloes, a group that we haven't talked as much about is the secondary. And a couple of players returning and then some new guys as well. But one of the players from the corner spot wanted to talk about for just a second is Jacoby Sheffield, number 21, a experienced, older player, if you will, a transfer. He's a junior, listed as a junior from Missouri City, Texas, but spent some time at Stephen F. Austin before that. Cisco Junior College, 17 tackles. He's a physical guy.
Yeah, he
playing that corner spot.
He really is, 5'10", 185, and again, you know, that doesn't seem overly big, but he's very muscular, and so really understands what he needs to do at a corner position, able to keep, again, everything in front of him, don't let it get beyond you, at least so far in this ball game, and so if you keep everything in front, then you can react in a couple of different ways defensively, and so he had a big hit earlier in the ball game too, and so that's the thing you like about Jacoby is his versatility, but again, his acumen as far as what the defense needs to do.
Must be that number 21. Buffs, remember Mike Jones wore number 21.
Yes.
He was a tough dude. The Steers send a receiver in motion.
And they got procedure again.
Movement again. If Greg Ellis right now is shaking his head saying, guys, just get set and let's run a play and quit going backwards.
Ball start on the offense, number 68. 5-yard penalty, first down.
50 yards. And again, not to be apologetic, but again, they did not play football last year. They didn't even really practice.
Yeah.
And so where the Buffaloes got to play 6 games last year. So they are just really getting comfortable with each other.
Hand it off to the fullback, and the Buffs do a good job. Dylan Mata defensively up front, and then give credit to the outside linebacker, Cole Ulster. Again, from Castle Rock, Colorado, a transfer. There he is, number 40, transfer from Montana State. And Bryce loved this. In high school, he was voted as team MVP, played for head coach Todd Casebeer. And his mascot, the Sabercats. How about that?
Is that like the long-tooth Sabercats? Is that what that is?
I guess so. I just think it sounds really intimidating. But out of Castle Rock, Colorado, the Castle Rock Sabercats.
It does sound intimidating. And I think, you know, the saber-tooth, I mean, the long, you know, scary teeth, and that's, you know, what you think of anyway.
So good job there from the young man out of the state of Colorado on 2nd down and long. Quarterback hit as he throws. Dangerous play. Good coverage down the field for the Buffaloes by Michael Anozi.
So they split out 2 receivers on the near side, wider. There are wider splits than they've had all game long, and one to the far side of the field. So they're trying to stretch the secondary out a little bit and open up something over the middle. But again, you had that circular motion of a linebacker coming back around, and that's who hit the quarterback as he tried to get rid of the football.
Yeah, they're doing a good job up front, that front 7, applying a lot of pressure. Not much time for McConaughey to throw the football. 8 seconds on the play clock. They get it away. Quick throw on the outside. And then tripped up. Good job by Michael Anoza, the safety, to come up and make the tackle.
You know, you were talking about the secondary too. Michael's another one of those guys.
Yeah.
Satchel Escalante with experience.
Gage Smith.
You know, a lot of guys with experience that will filter through this year and be a big benefit to the secondary for WT.
Well, Heston Marshall, you wanted to get some work in tonight. How many punt returns does he have? Let me check the stats here.
I think is this his 5th or 6th? I think it's his 5th. Here it goes.
Yeah, it is.
And it's a low line drive kick.
Just need to stay away from that one and watch it go out of bounds near midfield. And so that's where the Buffs offense will come out and start their next possession.
And that was pressure put on the punter, who got rid of it quickly and just did a line drive.
Media timeout.
Timeout on the field, so we'll step aside. Buffs leading comfortably, 35-0, still 12:15 to play in the second quarter. We're back after this.
Deep in the heart of Texas, the prairie
Bud Light, proudly brewed
in the heart of Texas.
This is what a new heart valve looks like. This is what a bypassed artery looks like. And this is what a repaired aortic aneurysm looks like. The BSA Heart and Vascular Team is here to help you live life to the fullest. From our state-of-the-art cardiac technologies to our dedicated heart specialists, our goal is to help you take the very best care of your heart so you can enjoy everything else that matters to you. BSA for life.
When you choose natural gas, chocolate chip cookies get a little tastier. Homes get a little cozier. Bank accounts tend to put on some weight. Towels get fluffier. Showers stay hotter for longer. And our blue planet gets a little greener. When it comes to choosing energy that's clean and efficient, nothing else could be more American. Atmos Energy, your natural gas company.
Well, welcome back to Jay Ferg Field. The Buffaloes lead here at home, 35-0 over Texas College. 12:15 left to play here in half number 1.
And Khalil Harris, who is already close to 100 yards. He's got 93 yards on the ground, 2 touchdowns. He's in at running back. And he takes this carry, patient running, spins, stays on his feet. Look at that tough running from Harris. He's going to gain close to 6 yards when really it could have been 3.
Or less. I mean, he really did a nice job. He kind of spun away from pressure, felt the hole closing, spun back to the inside, and then was able, as you said, to get about 5-6 yards on the carry.
And Bryce, he is a player that, you know, when you see him up close, he doesn't weigh, 230 pounds or anything like that, but he is much stronger than he looks, and he's definitely fast.
Well, I tell you, his legs are so solid. That's the thing. Muscles really get him up the field quickly.
Listed at 6'2", 185 pounds out of Frisco. And he gets the carry again, following a big block on the outside from his center, Zane Madison. And goodness, I needed Zane earlier this afternoon when I was trying to find a parking spot.
Me too. I gave up.
Because
actually,
I think he could have gotten us one a little closer than where we parked, Bryce. But how about that? Number 52, 310 pounds of beef coming downhill.
And that just shows you how quick he is, too. He's the center. He gets to the far side of the field. He's the lead block for the running back. And so, again, is so quick that he's able to get out there fast.
Grayson Williams is in right now. He's playing left tackle, redshirt freshman from Keller. Buffs being patient on this drive, working some clock. They'll go play action. Ball's tipped, and Nick Gerber is human. He throws the incomplete pass first of the ball game, and give credit to Texas College for getting a hand up there and batting that pass down.
Yeah, and again, that's what you read the quarterback's eyes, and you try to go to a spot where you have seen that he is looking at, and then just throw your hands up and knock it away, and that's what they did.
Good play by that defensive line for Texas College, and it is now 2nd down and 10. Clock stopped with 10:42 left in the second quarter. Play action again. Going for the home run, and it's Bogardus that goes up, makes the catch. Thrown maybe a little high. He definitely makes the great grab. Bogardus got so excited he wanted to get that thing in the end zone, but it was a great catch.
He did. Of course, Nick out of Eastville, California, and again, this comes up over the middle and is able to pull that one in and does a nice job on the reception. This could also be the last series we see Nick Gerber as Caleb Areola is warming up on the near sideline.
So checking in for the Buffs at the receiver spot, Hunter Kaufman. He's the receiver at the bottom of your screen on the near side. Harris, the running back. They'll give it to Khalil at the 10. Patient running, and then has to just try to run through some tacklers. Good job on the outside that time for Darian Williamson, the linebacker for Texas College. They played that one well. There was not as much of an opening there for Harris.
No, and again, patient, that's a nice way to describe it. He was waiting for something to open up, didn't try to force anything, and then was able to filter down to the outside. And so make it 2nd and goal to go.
You know, we said this his freshman year, Bryce, the first time we saw Khalil, is the comparison in terms of his running style was like of Eric Dickerson.
Yes. Yeah, a very patient runner, but good speed.
Here's Compton. He's got speed, and Jared Compton's got 6 points for the Buffaloes. Touchdown into the end zone following great blocking over the left side. Jared Compton with the touchdown.
And who's down there leading the way again? Zane Madison, the center. Again, credit the offensive line as they just open up on the left side, a nice running lane for Jared Compton to get into the end zone.
So Gage Arias will come on for another extra point attempt. Buffs lead 41-0. Still the second quarter. Try to make it 42. Good snap. The hold down from Blake Waters, and it's good right down the middle. Buffs score again and lead 42-0. Still 9:19 to play in the second quarter. We're back after this timeout. You're watching West Texas A&M football on the Lone Star Conference Digital Network.
WT student athletes drink low-fat chocolate milk post-workout because it helps replenish and restore muscles quickly to their peak potential. Scientific studies suggest that the immediate benefits of low-fat chocolate milk include boosted performance, improved training, and higher recovery rates in athletes. Add low-fat chocolate milk to your post-workout routine.
Go Buffs!
Well, welcome back to Jay Ferg Field. You see some of the fans across the way as a lot of students out. A beautiful night tonight here at Jay Ferg in Canyon, Texas. The flags are waving in the breeze as the Buffaloes of West Texas A&M lead this one 42-0 after a 7-yard run by Jared Compton, which caps off a 6-play, 50-yard drive for the Buffaloes.
Yeah, we like these stats, Bryce. 270 total yards of offense for the Buffaloes. On the other side, obviously with a lot of sacks and negative yardage and a plethora of penalties, Texas College just -6 on their total yardage. But this will be an opportunity now, we believe, the next time we see the offense, you're going to see the second team, the third team guys start getting opportunities.
Yeah, I think you definitely will. We saw Areola warming up just a moment ago, and again, this is an excellent opportunity for a lot of young players to get in and get some game experience in this one.
So Mauricio Gonzalez will kick off.
Mauricio Gonzalez kicks off for the Buffs.
Good leg into this one, and Diamond Woods is still going to bring it out. No, he's not. They're going to blow that one dead, bring it out to the 25-yard line for Texas College. Some nice gold cleats there from
yes.
Diamond Woods.
Yes, yeah, and I don't think Diamond. He's a little confused because he didn't put his hand. He didn't feel like he put his hand up. He just went up, and he's pulling it in. And I think the official thought it was ruled a fair catch.
Let's see.
As we watch the replay, he really all he did was reach up and pull that in, and I'm not sure why the official
probably should have let that
it.
one go, huh?
Yeah, he most likely should have. And they're going to go over and tell Coach Greg Ellis that it was their fault, that they should not have blew the whistle, and so
he's saying that's my fastest player. Let that dude go.
Well, again, it's just, again, you credit the official, first game for them as well. They're going over there explaining why they blew the whistle and why it's coming out to the 45-yard line.
Good look at Greg Ellis there.
Yeah, and so that's what the official is going to explain to the crowd most likely now.
Inadvertent whistle. By rule, Texas College can take it a touchback at the 25-yard line. First down.
That's one where you're almost the officials. My bad. Penalty kind of on the officials.
Yes.
We'll do 10 push-ups.
Yes.
I don't know.
Yeah. Well, but I'm going to go the other way. I usually am not one to applaud officiating too much. And that's where the officials made a mistake. First game, they go over and explain it to the coaching staff at Texas College. Hey, we made a mistake, and we're going to put it down to 25. Our bad, and we'll try to be more careful.
So Jerry McConico Jr., the quarterback, goes under center on 1st and 10. Hand off to the left side. Diving underneath a would-be tackler. The runner just able to get to the original line of scrimmage. That was Samote Samate that shot through that time.
Well,
Bryson.
We've talked so much about the offense so far here in this first half, but credit the defense because they are keeping Texas College at a -6 total yards so far. And again, that's great pursuit up front by the front seven.
So no gain. And 2nd down and 10 for Texas College. They've kind of abandoned the shotgun and just gone under center. Fullback in front of that running back, Woods. And he's going to be taken down. Great open field tackle from the outside by Ibrahim Kanate, the cornerback who last year we saw how fast he was.
Yes.
And Coach Hughes told me the other night at the coaches show at Canyon Ranch, he said, a lot of credit to Ibrahim. There's a lot of things technique-wise, film study-wise that he had to work on, and he said he has done that, and that's why he's getting a starting job to start the season for the Buffs.
Well, and again, we see a new shuffle coming in of the defensive line to the freshmen. Wayman Smith, Eric Goodman come in as well. Again, these are true freshmen who are getting out there and getting a chance to play.
3rd down and 9 for the Steers. Reverse to the receiver going to the far side, and this was a good play for Texas College. It was close to a first down before the Buffs were able to run that play down. Gage Smith, one of the players from the safety spot.
So Texas College has gone to an I formation. They weren't doing that the first quarter. They really weren't doing that for much of the game. They had either a lone setback. They would run 2 splits for their running backs, depending on what they were doing. But primarily we're focusing on trying to get at the receivers now. In the last 2 series, they've gone with an I formation. Feel like that gives them a little bit more of a good opportunity to get a push going on the offensive line for the running game.
That was Anthony Holden on the reverse. Stop from Cavender and Kanate. The throw, they're going for it on 4th down, and it's incomplete. So a gamble there from Coach Ellis, but his team already trailing 42-0. Why not? And that's a pass that maybe could have been caught in and out of the hands of the intended receiver. Buffs will get the football and the turnover on downs, but no problem with Coach Ellis going for it there,
No,
Bryce?
I don't think so at all. It's showing confidence in your players and your quarterback, and let's try it. It doesn't work today, but they're getting ready for Langston's coming up, and then Oklahoma Panhandle State and Wayland Baptist. That's the next 3 games after this one. And so, again, this is an opportunity for them to – they're not doing it in practice. They're going against live bodies, and so they get a chance to see what the offense can do.
So we will see now Caleb Areola, the backup quarterback, 6'2", 195-pound junior out of the state of California. Hand off to Compton. And a good run for Jared up to the 29-yard line before a host of Steer defenders haul him down. One of the players in on the stop, number 30, and that's Amari Cotton. We like Areola. So does Hunter Hughes. He told us earlier in the week, Bryce, that he feels like Areola could start for a lot of teams in Division II.
Right, yeah, and he really has a good ball. He's a lefty, and so a good spin on the football when he lets it go. And so, again, great opportunity to get him some game experience as well.
2nd down and long. High snap. He gets it, though. Hands to Compton. Jared to the outside. Good blocking down to the 10-yard line. Picked up a great block on the outside from Kenneth Red Jr. And that's a big 1st down run for Jared Compton.
A great run because he did 2 things that time. He started to go up the middle, drew everybody in, then bounced it to the first set outside, as you can see here, and then does it one more time right here. It gets a little further to the outside and picks it up down to the 10-yard, almost to the 10-yard line. Just a nice run for Jared Compton.
And you love that block at the end. That's what you want to see your receivers do.
Absolutely.
Keep your hands inside.
Absolutely.
Finish that play. Those are often the blocks that lead to 6 points. Isaiah Smallwood's in at running back. He will take the carry and deliver a couple of blows, spin off of a tackler, and go up to the 7-yard line.
5'10", 200-pound freshman from Austin. And, again, Isaiah, getting a chance as well to show the coaches the strength he has taking it up the middle. And that's one of the things we got a chance to talk with Coach Hughes about. They're excited about the running game this year. They really like this stable of running backs.
In for the Buffaloes right now at receiver on the outside is Blake Waters, wearing number 27. Areola. Hands to Smallwood. Smallwood tough running inside the 5, and he can still get a 1st down if he gets to the 2.
And that's one of those, too, where he, first attempt, he got his shoulders grabbed a little bit, but he just kept churning the legs and was able to push it forward.
So it's 3rd down and 1. Keep the offense same set on the field. Watch out for Carnbay. He's the tight end to the left. Johnson, the tight end to the right. Could go play action here with either of those guys. Areola will throw, and it's incomplete. A little too hot and good coverage by the Steers, but they were trying to squeeze Kenneth Red Jr. on a slant route inside.
I'm laughing because a freshman, Isaiah Smallwood, is out there saying, let's go for it. He's pointing. He said, let's stay out here and keep going for it. So got his wish. Coaches are letting him stay out there.
4th down and 1 with the Buffs leading 42-0. Trying to tack on some more. Smallwood, good move. Smallwood wanted it, and he got it into the end zone. Touchdown, Buffaloes. And that's the play. If you say, Coach, let's go, I got this, then you better deliver.
Yeah, and he does, indeed. Nice run off the right side that time. It got great blocking once again up front and was able to make it happen. His first contact really came at the goal line as he's able to take that one in.
Credit to Jacoby Lott, the left guard. Also Morgan Pica, who was in and is in at offensive line there for the Buffaloes right now at the tackle spot. Now you got to get one more of those guys out there. Come on, Zach Dietrich, get out here. We scored again. And so he gets out for the extra point. Gage Urias. A lot of work already tonight in this first half. Still 4:31 to play before halftime. Good snap. Hold is down. The snap was from Brock Williams. The kick is good for Gage Urias, and it is 49-0. West Texas A&M all over Texas College here in the season opener for both teams. We'll step aside, come back with more football here in the first half from Buffalo Stadium. You're watching WT Football on the Lone Star Conference Digital Network.
How do you make something that's already fresh even fresher? By adding fresh new things, like crisp pico de gallo for a little kick, and creamy cilantro lime sauce for that extra whoa. And pepper jack cheese because, of course, all on top of 2 fresh beef patties, or with chicken on a brioche bun. Whataburger's limited time pico de gallo burger and new pico de gallo chicken sandwiches. Good thing for fresh things. Good thing there's Whataburger.
Out at Buffalo Stadium.
It is. The fans are enjoying it. A 6-play drive that goes 32 yards. The last 3 coming from the Smallwood freshman. The freshman, as Smallwood gets into the end zone for the score.
I believe they called that the floss off. You and I were taught to floss your teeth. The kids just floss, and it's some kind of dance. There's a return up to the 24, 25-yard line for Texas College. Charles Kirkwood on the kick return. And for Texas College, we've seen, some players that definitely have shown some flash, but offensively they have just not been able to sustain to get really anything going as far as a drive.
And it's the pressure that WT has put on them again, and this speed. And we talked about that in the pregame. The thing that is interesting with WT this year is they're bigger, one, but they got more speed, and that's evident defensively watching them fly to the football and being able to put pressure as McConaughey is trying to make things happen.
Eric Goodman's in, along with Samote Samate. Ball was batted up in the air and falls to the turf, but again, good pressure applied. Defensively, Wayman Smith at defensive end. He's a freshman from Fort Worth out of DeSoto High School. We know they play some really good football in DeSoto.
They do, and he learned that when you can't get to the quarterback, put your hand up in the air and knock it away, and that's what he did.
Ooh, what a hit on the outside. And was it
Eric Collins?
Oh, okay, no surprise there.
Yes, Eric Collins is the one who came in as Coach Hughes looking on out there and enjoying what he sees defensively.
Sets up a 3rd down and 9. These 3rd and long situations have been very difficult for McConaughey Jr. and the Steer offense. Buffs will bring some pressure from the outside. A quick throw, smart idea offensively just to get rid of it quickly, but the pass goes through the hands of the intended receiver, Keyshawn Henderson.
Henderson kind of upset with himself. He thought he should have had that, but again, great pressure applied as the Buffaloes were able to get to him, and Ibrahim Kanate is able to come in, and Kanate is able just to get to him as the ball does and knocks it away. 3:35 left to play in the first half. And positive yards, 2 so far for Texas College. That tells you how well the defense has played tonight.
This broadcast brought to you tonight by the Buffalo Club. And a reminder that here in about 3 minutes and 35 seconds, first we'll get what should be a very pleasant halftime interview.
Yes.
Kent Johnson and Hunter Hughes. And then Bryce at halftime. We'll have the Holiday Inn Express halftime show, and we'll get a chance, the viewers will get a chance to see and hear from Lady Buff volleyball coach Kendra Potts. Late player on the field for Texas College here on the punt team. And a low kick that they're trying to just angle away from Heston Marshall. They've seen Heston touch the football plenty tonight, and so they just kick it away from him. And the WT offense will come back onto the field. We'll see Caleb Areola, and you'll also start to see, you mentioned it when we started the broadcast, that this offensive line was deep. Well, now we're seeing some second-team offensive linemen get in.
Yes, yeah, and that's the nice thing is that Morgan Pecha gets in, Al Magruder, guys that, Patrick Gray, just different guys that get a chance to come in. Parker Hanna's still out there. He's moved. Now, the difference is Parker started as the right tackle. Now he's lined up on the left tackle slot where he played most of his career. And so they've got some movement, and they get some guys in some different positions as well.
On first down, it's a handoff. Compton up the middle, huge hole, and he finishes it off. It's a big run up to the 46, 47-yard line for Jared Compton.
And not to jump on it, but, that hole was open by Parker Hanna as the Stratford Jr. just turns his man to the outside, and it was a hole big enough I could run through, and I'm by no stretch of the imagination fast, but could have got there.
Gain on that play of 17 yards across the middle. Receiver open. Touchdown. We got a flag. Though, back at midfield.
Is the Buffalo's first penalty coming at 2:42?
I think it's coming back. Oh, Hunter Kaufman. He ran that post route perfect, and Caleb Areola put it on him perfect.
And he did it what he
illegal
really
man
did
downfield on the offense. Number 56, 5-yard penalty. First down.
So Grayson Williams is going to get the penalty, the 6'5", 260-pound redshirt freshman. But credit.
Look at this throw here.
As you talk about, just watch as the defender is completely turned around. And so nice run to get into the end zone on that one by Kaufman. And again, another one of those wide receivers with good speed. Once he gets it, he's off to the races.
Hunter Kaufman out of the state of Kansas played his high school ball at Pratt, Kansas, and going back to 2016 was the 4A state champion. His team was Pratt, Kansas. Still holds the record for return yards, tells you how fast he is, in the school with over 1,000. There's a good pass put into the hands of Kenneth Red Jr., but it was just a better defensive play to knock the ball loose for Texas College.
Yeah, credit again coming up. Dominic Stokes, who comes up, puts a hit on Red and is able to break up the play. Also back there defensively as well, Elijah Jones. And so credit both those players.
So second down and 15 for the Buffs. Clock stops with 2:31 still to play before halftime. Two receivers split to the near side, but they're going to keep it on the ground. Compton makes the first man miss up at the 45, across the 50. Jared Compton. It's a foot race down the sideline, and he's just run out of bounds as he gets inside the 10. Good hustle from Texas College.
Well, Texas College, Daniel Hunt is upset because he felt like, and maybe so, that he got turned around that time and forced to the turf by Al Magruder on a hold, is what he's upset about. I'm not too sure he wasn't totally wrong, but that, again, opened up a huge hole for Compton to run through.
Jared now nearing 100 yards, about 6 carries for 95 yards. That's an average every time he touches it of 16 yards a run. Here's Smallwood. He's already got one touchdown. That was A.J. Magruder finishing off his block at the end of the play there, which was legal. The whistle had not blown.
Well, and again, we'll go back. We were really I've been complimentary of the offensive line. The first set that were out, the first starting five that were out there tonight. But this second group, again, just as solid, and so that's what's such a big plus.
And one thing we haven't mentioned, Bryce, they have a new offensive line coach.
Yes.
Cooper Bassett left over the summer. Insert offensive line coach Jack Harris, who coached at Michigan State last season, also at Colorado. Was a 3-year starter as a player at Colorado. He has done a nice job with this offensive line. Here's a handoff to Smallwood, trying to get across. Is he in? No signal yet. Maybe down at the 1.
Just short. Looked like his knee may have come down just before he got into the end zone.
Officials signal to stop the clock with 1 minute. Smallwood's helmet popped off. Maxwell Perez will come in along with Jared Compton. And now they wind that clock.
And again, credit the offensive line. Nice blocking up front. Jeremiah Stanley, who is the center in on this set right now, along with, as we mentioned, Patrick Gray is out there, so too. Again, Parker Hanna's moved from the right side to the left side.
Here's the handoff, Compton.
That's
that was
nice
good. It was good push
read that time. Yeah, great job.
Defensive end came crashing down that time.
Texas College read that one perfectly that time.
Donye Jefferson. Good tackle. Clock is now running. Buffs are going to, this is a situational thing here. They're going to rush the field goal team on and try to kick this field goal with the clock continuing to run.
Got 6 seconds left as the clock winds down.
A 19-yard field goal chip shot is good for Gage Urias as the clock hits zeros, and so tack on 3 more points for the Buffaloes, and it will be a 52-0 halftime lead for West Texas A&M. We're going to get our cameras set down there for Coach Hughes to get a little interview with Kent Johnson before we head to our halftime. Remember, it's the Holiday Inn Express halftime show coming up shortly, with the Buffaloes leading 52-0.
Well, again, a nice drive by the Buffaloes as that goes 7 plays and ends up with a 19-yard field goal. Let's head down to the fields. Kent Johnson standing by. Kent, go ahead.
Yeah, he's still waiting for
Coach
Hunter
Hughes to come.
Yeah, for Coach Hughes to get over.
Bryce, we're down here. Have Hunter Hughes coming up to us here after a first half. Coach, comfortable score on the scoreboard, but as a head coach, first outing for your team this year, what are you seeing?
Well, we told them to start fast and make a statement, so we took the ball to start off, and first play we score. So we've got some talent over there, and I think we're just displaying it right here. And, now we're trying to get some guys in and get them some experience so to build for the future. And, the score's out of hand, but they ain't quit yet. That's the good thing about Texas College. They hadn't quit, so we got to be ready to go. And our expectations don't change from the starters to the backups, so we expect them to come out and keep playing the way we're playing.
First half, no turnovers and very, very few penalties. One took some points off the board, but got to be happy with the execution.
Yeah, I'm more happy with the effort. Even though the score is as lopsided as it is, our guys are still putting forth great effort, so that's what I'm excited about.
Still another half to go.
Oh, yeah.
It's head coach Hunter Hughes. Buffs heading into the locker room. Comfortable lead. Guys, back upstairs.
All right, Kent, thanks very much indeed. Here at Jay Ferg Field, the Buffaloes lead this one 52-0. And again, a very not joyful, but a happy Hunter Hughes.
He should be happy, Bryce. He's got 375 yards, and Texas College has 2. Buffs have 52 points, and the Steers have not scored.
And this is the challenge to go out. He's going to talk to him about what to expect in the second half and what they want to see, and that's to keep them grounded and level. Don't forget the scoreboard.
All right, we're going to take a timeout. When we come back, we will start the Holiday Inn Express halftime show. Bring on our special guest, Lady Buffs head volleyball coach Kendra Potts. We'll talk to Bryce about the weekend tournament coming up here in Canyon, and I'll start tomorrow. We're back after these messages here on the Lone Star Conference Digital Network.
This is a walk-on athlete. They train long, put their heart into the game. This is the passion we're built on. It's why we put our heart into creating game day with a taste of Louisiana. Walk-ons, we live for this.
The best tailgates start with the best beef, and the best beef starts with Market Street. Market Street, where we do beef the best.
And welcome back to Jay Ferg Field as the Buffaloes lead this one 52-0 over Texas College. And welcome to our halftime show brought to you by Holiday Inn Express. And joining us, Kendra Potts joins us on the halftime show, head volleyball coach for West Texas. And I'm guessing, and I'm probably sure I'm right, as much as the football players are ready to get going, your volleyball player is probably twice as ready to get going tonight.
Absolutely. The football team is setting the tone for just the entire athletic department. We have just been ready for a real fall sports season, and so they're doing a great job. I hope we can follow it up tomorrow.
Well, again, you've got a big tournament coming up this weekend, both Friday and Saturday, and both locations are going, both the box on the campus of West Texas A&M and the FUB, the First United Bank Center, will have volleyball matches going on. Explain a little bit about some of the teams that are coming in.
Right. We were able to get a pretty good lineup. You know, we got a couple Lone Star Conference teams. We hadn't been able to face Arkansas Fort Smith since I actually took the job.
Right.
And I've been really wanting to play them. They're really competitive, so we are getting to play them last match of the weekend. St. Ed's, UTPB, but then also Fort Lewis and Adams State are coming out of the RMAC, which is really exciting for us to get some of those Colorado RMAC schools coming, and get some regional matchups. And so it's been a good weekend. It's a good lineup for the weekend.
Talk about getting ready for the season. Obviously, last year you had a weird setup, weird schedule, and everything else. You did get some matches in. Obviously, that's a positive.
Yeah.
But now you're into a normal routine. And so explain what that normal routine is and what you've seen so far from your club.
It's funny how now that we're getting back in a normal routine, I think our players are realizing how much they really like it. You know, I mean, just the uncertainty that we've had for over the past year, when there's still a little bit there from time to time with testing. But it's been good. Our girls are thriving in that environment. You can tell they're truly just enjoying themselves playing the sport they love. And it's just been a great feel in the gym.
And talk a little bit about your club this year and who are some of the ones that you anticipate will probably step up a step or two, but the ones may have surprised you a little bit.
Right. So we've got a very seasoned returning class. We joke that Chandler's back for her 10th season. And I'm so happy. I'll take 11 and 12. You know what I mean? And so Chandler Vogel is just always leading our first contact, both in serve receiving and defense. And she just does a lot of things besides that, too. She's just kind of the quarterback of our back row, but also she's great accountability leader, but she's also a servant leader, so we get that out of Chandler. Tori, obviously, she is just extremely explosive and powerful, and she's coming back in probably the best physical shape she's ever been in. And she worked hard after a little shoulder procedure she had last spring, so it's just her level of motivation is, next level. And then Kayla Elliott, we've seen a little bit of glimpse of what she can do, and this year I think everybody's going to be like, who is that?
And so that's one of the things, too, because of the way the schedule was last year, and, of course, whether fans could come or couldn't come or whatever the case may be, obviously it's open for fans this weekend. We'd love to have everybody come out and watch. And not just necessarily WT. Obviously, we are hoping for that in a big way, but there's going to be a lot of good volleyball teams that are here, and you've got the whole weekend really to watch.
Yeah, well, I didn't even I talked about the RMAC and the LSC teams, but we have Southwest Oklahoma coming. There's actually quite a few Amarillo girls on that squad.
Right.
And I strategically wanted to get them here. It's fun to, just have that little rivalry in the box, but also get those families here, get to see their daughters play.
Well, absolutely. And it's a good, and obviously the girls have competed against each other either in high school or in college or whatever the case may be. And so they're familiar with the other players as well.
So we were talking to a couple of them coming in today for the pregame practices, and it's just fun. It's just fun to have that. I'm really excited for that matchup, and just I can just tell our girls are like, we're ready to play somebody else first of all.
Right.
But just get the biggest thing is getting the stands back out in the box and actually having that box feel that we haven't had in over a year.
Right. And so talk a little bit about what that will mean for the players with fans there in the stands and really how you feed on that.
Oh, absolutely. So last week we had a maroon and white scrimmage, and it was our first time to have the stands out since 2019. And we really didn't put it together that our freshman class last year never has played in the box with the way it's supposed to be set up. And when they brought that to light, all of us just kind of got chills and were like, man, this is a special moment. And even the scrimmage, those girls are like, we knew what it was like, but now, like, wow, this is special. And the recruiting process, a lot of times they're like, man, it's hot in here. Then you watch a game, then you picture yourself being a player in that position. You're like, I don't know why, but I want to sweat with you guys.
Right.
I don't know why.
Right.
And and it's just, we feel like it's our special niche. You know, we have teams coming to practice in the box, and they're like, golly, it's hot in here. How do y'all do it every day?
Yeah.
We're like, we love it.
Yeah.
I don't know. We just feel like we might be a little bit
it's
tougher
the home court
sometimes.
advantage a little bit. Got a new floor in the box as well, so it's an amazing look.
Yeah.
So if you get a chance, do come out and watch this weekend. Let's just jump ahead real quick. I know coaches hate looking ahead, and so I'm not going to ask you to prognosticate any, but when you look at the conference, who are you worried about?
The conference keeps getting better every year. The new coaches coming in are great. Obviously, the 3 teams that were ranked ahead of us with Angelo State, Kingsville, those 2 I think are on our minds. And then UT Tyler obviously came in and startled everybody. You know, their speed is great. All 3 of those teams, I think. But honestly, Fort Smith is a first test right off the bat for us this weekend. They always are good. Coach Sargent is amazing. She gets her whatever classification those girls are, she gets them to play hard. But I think there's a lot. I mean, there's no team we sleep for. There's no team that we're just going to overlook and say this is a gimme night. I don't want people to do that with us. I will never do that against any other opponent.
Right.
And so, you know, I'm going to stay awake for everybody. And I know our girls are too. And so, but yeah, obviously, you know, preseason ranked 4. Just give me another chip on the shoulder. I'm cool with it.
There you go.
Yeah,
there
so
you
are
go.
our girls. We're good with it.
So the Bricklayer Classic this weekend, kind of explain what WT's schedule is and how it shapes up for Friday and Saturday.
Absolutely. So tomorrow we kick it off at 11:30. Okay. We're playing Adams State. After that, we'll play at 7 p.m. tomorrow night against Fort Lewis. Okay. And so great, both RMAC matchups, so I'm really excited about that. And then Saturday morning, we'll open it up with SWOSU, or Southwestern Oklahoma, which I'm really excited about, just getting those local, just all of it. The gym's going to be fun. Right. And then we're going to end with Fort Smith. And I'm really excited about all 4. There's not one, like we were talking about, there's not one we're sleeping on. It's those first matchups you really don't know. You don't get a clear scout. So we're kind of scouting blind, and we're making real-time adjustments as the game goes, and that's challenging. Right. But we're up for it. We're excited.
Well, it'll be a great weekend of volleyball. Get a chance to come out. Again, we start at 11:30 tomorrow. Great reason to get off work early, come out and watch the Lady Buffs play, and watch them throughout the weekend. Coach Kendra Potts joining us. Good luck on the season. We know it's going to be an exciting year for WT volleyball. We'll take a break as the halftime show continues after this.
Welcome to Shimin Dental Group, where every day we're excited to see our patients and treat them like family.
We are dedicated to providing you with the highest quality care in a friendly and comfortable environment. Shimin Dental Group's patient-focused philosophy puts your needs front and center.
We are constantly investing in leading-edge technology. Innovations that speed the treatment process and improve aesthetics. We're expanding the breadth of our cosmetic and restorative services through training to provide the best possible outcomes.
Just with the level of commitment that they show to taking care of my family and I, it's absolutely unmatched in this town, so I've been very happy with them.
Brightening smiles for more than 3 decades.
Contact Shimin Dental Group for your appointment today.
When joints begin to fail, it's more than an inconvenience. The relentless grinding pain slows you down and can even stop you from doing the things you enjoy in life. At Physicians Surgical Hospitals, our skilled orthopedic experts are using advanced robotic surgeries to get you back to being you sooner with a less painful recovery. We're doing more than restoring joints. We're restoring lives.
Welcome to MetaDrive Pharmacy, Canyon's hometown pharmacy for over 32 years. We greet you by name, and our pharmacists take the time to counsel you and answer all your questions. Our Health Mart Pharmacy specializes in serving our community with fast, friendly, professional service and the highest quality medicines and health products. We accept most insurance plans, including Medicaid and Medicare, and we offer free in-town delivery to your home or business. Come visit us for all your healthcare needs.
Choosing the right countertops for your kitchen can be tricky. Nowadays, there are hundreds of colors, patterns, and textures and materials that range from natural to engineered stone. Marble Depot is here for you throughout every step of the process. And yes, we do have a lot of options that might make that decision a little harder, but we're also going to ask the right questions so that you get the most out of your investment. So come by our showroom and let us help create what you've been dreaming of.
For 90 years, the Lone Star Conference has been committed to excellence. What began in 1831 as a 5-team conference has grown to 18 institutions spanning 4 states. And while membership has changed, the pursuit of athletic success and academic excellence has never wavered. 119 national championships, over 2,000 All-Americans, and nearly 300 academic All-Americans. Celebrating 90 years of success, this is the Lone Star Conference.
Ferg Field, the Buffaloes leading this at the half, 52-0 over Texas College. Bryce Sheets, Kent Johnson joining us on the halftime show, brought to you by Holiday Inn Express. And again, Kent, a really solid first half for the Buffaloes, both offensively and defensively. And I think the coaches, and I know when you talk to Coach Hughes going into the locker room, usually he's fired up about something, and they just played so well, it's just hard to be critical.
Well, you know, that you look at the fact that they had the opportunity to score another touchdown late. They elected to go for the field goal.
Yes.
They converted the field goal. That's been iffy in years past, but across the board, you know, Coach Hughes talked about effort, but the word that I tried to get him to use, which he wasn't going to use, was execution.
Right.
You know, 6 of 6 in the red zone, no fumbles, no interceptions, no turnovers, solid in the kicking game. You rush for 225 yards. You pass, you know, 10 of 13.
Right.
Nick Gerber was incredible, but this is going to be a game where you're going to get to look at a lot of people. You're not going to show your playbook. Conference play starts next week, and you hope that you can play with the same intensity and not get beat up in the second half.
And I think that's really important. That's an important word, intensity, because the Buffs came out ready to play tonight. And so regardless of who the opponent is across the way, it's a chance to play against somebody different, totally foreign to you. And they got a chance to come out and execute. And I thought both offensively, the offensive line has been incredible tonight. And then the front seven defensively have done the same, holding Texas College to let's see, we got 0 first downs in that first half.
2 total
and they
yards.
had 2 total yards, 13 of that on the ground, 12 rushes for 13 yards. That tells you that they're just not letting anything get beyond really the first 2 or 3 yards of that front seven. And so they're collapsing on the football. They're reading it really well. And again, from a coaching standpoint, I'm not one. No one would accuse me of that. But the thing is, I think they like the execution and the way it's taking place.
Well, I'm looking at 2 things. I'm looking first, Texas College has not played a football game in 2 years.
Right.
They were completely virtual in 2020.
Right.
They did not touch a football until the start of August of this year, last month. So they've practiced 3.5 weeks, and now they're playing the Buffaloes, who are a very strong Division II team.
Right.
On the other side of the coin, the Buffaloes played 7 games last fall, the most of any Division II team. Now, next week we're going to see a UT Permian Basin team which played their games in the spring.
Right.
And we'll see how that pans out. But I think right now, playing in the fall, resting, recovering, you know, we've got a couple, several key players, Jordan Johnson and Tobias Harris, to name a couple, that are being held out now, recovering from injuries that they had taken care of over the summer.
Right.
Had they played in the spring, that wouldn't be the case. So things tonight have fallen into place. Hope they continue in the third and fourth quarter.
Quickly in the second half, we're probably going to see a lot of 2s and 3s to get a chance to go out and play.
You suit up 60 on the road, you can suit up as many as you want on the home field.
Right.
I think we're going to see a lot of players play, and hopefully, like you say, intensity throughout.
52-0, the Buffs lead this one. We'll take a break and come back to the second half right after this.
Jenkins Doors and Windows began serving the Texas Panhandle in 1927, and we take pride in being a part of your neighborhood. We don't use false promises or gimmicks. We simply offer quality doors and windows at a fair price, and we stand behind every sale. Jenkins is family owned and operated, and proudly continues the traditions of quality and excellence that started over 80 years ago. Call us at 372-4336 or stop by our showroom at 820 West 6th and let our knowledgeable staff help you pick out the perfect doors and windows for your home.
And
hey,
there you go.
There's that
live
slide
TV.
in.
There you go, live TV. And again, great highlights from the first half. We're going to cut to them right now as we see how the Buffalo scored in this one today. And again, they got going early in the first play. The first play from scrimmage, basically, it was a 69-yard run from Khalil Harris as he just went up and down the field and was able to get in to the end zone. And so that's how the Buffs were able to score on each of their first three possessions. And really did a nice job getting off to an early start against Texas College in this one. There's the score, as you can see there in the early going. And then a little bit later on.
Yeah, that was the one that Jordan Johnson, Pawpaw got it into the end zone.
That 1 yard run from Jordan Johnson that went in. And then just after that, it was Khalil Harris on a 5-yard run again to get into the end zone.
Two for him in the first half.
So he had two right away. And again, Khalil, nice job as he had 111 yards on the ground, 2 touchdowns.
How about that throw, that quick slant that got to MSP there? That was impressive.
No, that was
Nick Gerber.
Absolutely. And again, the receivers there have been so much in tune with what Nick's doing so far. Here's a rollout to the right side, and then just wide open for a pitch and catch into the end zone. Stevens Peppers gets into the end zone on a nice throw from Nick Gerber. And so again, Buffalo's rolling in this one, led at that point 35-0. And then it's Compton who gets into the end zone and is able to score. And that's just some of the highlights from the first half in this one today. And so again, the Buffalo's total control here in the early going as they lead at 52-0, as Kent talked about, able to, right before the half, without taking a timeout, able to get in position and connect on a field goal that was really a nice kick from Urias. And again, Urias perfect in point after attempts and field goals tonight. And now we are set for the second half, and Texas College will receive the kickoff from Gonzalez as he gets set to boot this one away as we are getting ready for the start of the third quarter. Bryce Sheets here with you, of course, along with Lucas Kinsey. Lucas?
And we appreciate again our halftime sponsor, Holiday Inn Express. Good halftime show. Great when you're up 52-0. Texas College going to try to change that and get some offense going. The return goes up across the 10-yard line.
And I'll just say real quick, it's special teams on kickoffs tonight. What's been really impressive to watch is everybody staying in their lane, and that was just another example. Trying to bounce it to the outside, just not there. And the one we were talking about so much as far as kickoffs were concerned for the Buffaloes in tonight's contest, Heston Marshall's the one that makes the top stop on that one, keeps it to the inside. And again, I think the special teams coach is going to be extremely thrilled with this one. That's Will Wagner, and so also the linebackers coach. And so he's going to be happy with what special teams has done tonight.
And it looks like we will see the starting defensive unit, at least for this first series. I formation for the Texas College Steers, and a good pass, just a short one complete. Receiver fighting for yardage, trying to get up to the 20. And coming out of the pile, McConico gets the pass complete to Anthony Holden And for Texas College, good strategy there, Bryce. They don't have time to do the 5-step drop to really survey the field because that rush from West Texas A&M defensively. So get it out of the hands quickly of your quarterback and let those athletes move in space. Gain of 6, 2nd down and 4. Good catch by Holden. That ball was thrown a little high, but he went up and grabbed it, and that is a 1st down, Texas College.
Their first of the ball game tonight as they were able to move the sticks for the first time. And again, Holden was the man in motion going from the right side to the left side. And again, you just turn upfield, turn back, give your quarterback your numbers, and let him get you a pass.
So positive play there for the Steers. And it's followed up by a negative play because the tackle moved.
Well, and he's pointing. I know he's pointing to say, hey, he came after me, but...
At Dylan Mata.
Ball start on the offense. Number 75, 5-yard penalty,
but
first down.
Jalen Benton moved before Mata came across. Mata just reacted to what he was doing, and so that's why that penalty came about. And so, again, they move it across and move back. The Steers.
Again, in that first half, the Buffaloes put up 375 total yards of offense. The Steers, -2. 1st and 15. And the ball's loose. It was stripped away and recovered. Jalen Hill, or they're going to say it was an incomplete
Well, it looked
pass.
like he was pumping the football.
The ruling on the field is an incomplete pass. 2nd down.
And so, again, first game for the officials, too, but it looked like he was pumping once, but then he just lost the handle.
Here's
is what it looked like as we watch him roll out. He pumps once, and then as he tries to pull it down there, he just lost the handle on it. So he didn't throw it. He just lost the handle, but the officials are going to say it's an incomplete pass.
Good sportsmanship shown by Eric Collins. Goes over and helps up the quarterback after applying the pressure, something he has done a lot tonight. Number 4, he was our X-bar factor of the game defensively.
Well,
Big
nice.
hit. That was Chris Thomas at the end of that one.
I was going to say a nice play to get it to the receiver coming across, trying to get it to Derek Cooper. But Derek, as you mentioned, Chris Thomas read it perfectly and made the stop.
Yeah, the pregame, our X-Bar Steakhouse factor of the game. Offensively was Nick Gerber. Defensively was Eric Collins. I think both of those players have done a fantastic job so far tonight.
They really have. And again, credit this linebacking core. We talked about that being a strength coming into this one tonight, and they have not at all disappointed.
All right, 3rd down and long for Texas College. They roll the quarterback out to the far side. Good speed at the 25 and diving out of bounds near the 30-yard line.
Like Eric Collins over there again to just kind of guide him out.
Taken out of bounds by the Buffaloes, Eric Collins.
In those bootleg plays, you got to have just a little bit of time.
You do.
For it to develop.
There was 2 players that kind of circled around defensively for the Buffaloes and were putting pressure on the quarterback, Meconico, as he rolled to his left. And again, he had a blocker there that just kind of watched him instead of throwing a block. He just kind of watched them to see what they were doing, and Meconico was able to get away.
So it'll bring on the punt team yet again for Texas College. All kinds of work tonight for Keith Delahose, who does the kicking and the punting duties. Hasn't kicked much tonight, but he has punted. He's punted often. This one's high, a short one that will hit at midfield, take a Texas College Steers bounce across to the Buffalo's 45-yard line. It'll be down right there, and that's where the WT offense will come back onto the field.
But I think one of the things you look at, too, you look at how both teams adapt and adjust at the half. And so for Texas College, they're just wanting some positive action out of their offense here. And again, they'll make some defensive adjustments, trying to put pressure on the Buffaloes as well. And, of course, for the Buffs, it's getting a chance to get a lot of players in, get some playing time, leading this one 52-0. 11:30 left to play here in the 3rd quarter.
And it's Caleb Areola that comes out at the quarterback position, handing it off to Isaiah Smallwood, who did score a touchdown in the first half. And a penalty marker comes in at the end of this run. Could be, from the direction it was thrown, could be maybe a face mask.
Yeah, there's definitely a personal foul, and so that's what the side judge is saying on this one. And so we await the referee to come in. He's asking what's the number.
Well, and that was the big difference. One of the big differences. There were many.
Personal foul, grasping the face mask on the defense. Number 94. 15 yards added to the end of the run. First down.
Bryce, one team had 1 penalty for 5 yards. The other team had 6 penalties for 46 yards.
Yes.
Guess which team was which?
Yeah, well, again, Buffalo's, that's the one thing Ken asked to head coach Hunter Hughes at the half is you had, no turnovers and you had relatively few penalties, and you had 1 at that point. And so, yeah, that makes a coach happy.
1st and 10, WT. Smallwood, good cut. He started right and put that right foot in the ground and cut right back inside like they're taught to do, and gained yardage to the 36-yard line. The running backs coach is new this season as well, Bryce. Devin Demas taking over at that spot, coaching the running backs up, and some good pedigree with Devin. He played college at Boise State.
Boise State, yeah, again. And he has a good complement of running backs to work with, and has shown, and obviously it shows here in this ball game, the confidence level he has on whoever is out at that position at any time.
Show my age a little bit. I used to play the college football video game back when they actually had that thing. And I love playing with Boise State because why? Because
they have field.
Blue turf.
Yes.
Areola will throw. And good coverage. It goes through the hands of the intended receiver, number 39, Caleb Ollison, a freshman from Fort Worth. But credit the Steers that time. They had 2 players in coverage.
Yeah, and that's where Areola will, this being out on the field, getting a chance to play against somebody you don't know, that will be so fruitful for him, because had he been able to set just another half second, he had another receiver a little further out to his left. And again, he's a left-handed quarterback, so that's the direction he was going, and so may have seen him open a little bit later.
3rd down and 6. Areola screen back the opposite direction to Maxwell Perez. And a good tackle, an open field tackle on the far side of the field. Credit number 30 that time for Texas College. That is Omari Cotton for coming up and doing something that's not easy to do, and that's wrap up number 14, Maxwell Perez.
So what do you do when you have 4th and about 2? You bring Jordan Johnson in and go for it. And also in the backfield, it looks like trying to see
Marcus Lindsay, number 49.
Lindsay.
Look at Marcus Lindsay running violently up the middle, and kind of has the fullback style, if you will. He was going north and south. There was no doubt about it. And that's a tough run. Look at that guy out there.
Yeah, he really did. I mean, you got great blocking up front, and then you make the most of it when you make contact. It's easy. Pick up a first down when your first contact is until 4 yards after you get the football.
Lindsay, a junior, 220-pounder, a transfer from CSU Pueblo. He gets the carry again and gains decent yardage up near the 15-yard line. So Lindsay, 5'10", 220 pounds out of Denver, Colorado, and a transfer from a place that Hunter Hughes is familiar with.
Very familiar with. Of course, Hunter came from CSU Pueblo, and again in his 5th year here, but stays in touch with the coaches up there and knows of some players. And in this case, obviously the one that they were able to take away is Marcus Lindsay.
And that's something that, broadcasters, obviously, we're getting used to, Bryce. But every year, the transfer portal players, go from one school to the next. And it's a handoff again up the middle. Tough running. Lindsay at the 10, the stiff arm. Get that big boy in the end zone. It is a touchdown, Buffaloes.
Nice run by Lindsay, and again, off the left side of the line that time. And then once he gets to the second level, it's just all his determination to get into the end zone, and he is able to do so and continue to push and is able to get there for the score as he gets to the sideline and the accolades of his teammates.
Impressive run, impressive blocking as well, as we have said all night long by this offensive line. The Herd doing their job, and it shows on the scoreboard. It's 58-0. Trying to make it 59. Urias, the kick is up. Gage Urias, perfect tonight. Make it 59-0. West Texas A&M leads over the Texas College Steers. You're watching Division II college football right here on the Lone Star Conference Digital Network. Here's a look at it again. Rumbling, stumbling, bumbling in to the end zone. We're back after these messages.
J. Ferg Roofing has been protecting our community for 15 years. With more than 30,000 homes and businesses protected by our roofing work, we're proud of our ability to provide efficient, lasting solutions for your roofing needs. What makes us stand out from the competition is that we work for you with dedicated team members who guide you every step of the way. That is the J. Ferg advantage. Quality, experience, fast pass scheduling, customer rewards. We have it all. Call J. Ferg Roofing today for a free inspection. We are J. Ferg Roofing. We are more.
A smile is understood in any language. It represents joy, love, and shows you care. At Full Smile Dental, our mission is to build lifelong relationships one smile at a time by providing accessible, compassionate, quality care with the personal touch of friendship. Come see us at Full Smile Dental, located in Canyon, Amarillo, Dumas, and Dalhart, and ask us about our free Whitening for Life program.
To J. Ferg Field as Buffalo Stadium as the Buffaloes lead this one 59-0. A 16-yard run from Marcus Lindsay as he gets to the second level and then carries in 3 defenders into the end zone for the score. The extra point from Urias, who's been perfect all night, makes it 59-0.
Dance party continues here for the Maroon platoon. There you go. So you got to learn from the kids. They're the ones that have the moves these days.
Yeah, they know how to do it. That's for sure.
They do TikTok, Bryce. That's what it is. It's TikTok. So your score, 59-0. Mauricio Gonzalez kicks off. We still have 7:55 left in the third quarter. Diamond Woods will bring it out at the 15 and near the 20-yard line. So that's where the Steers will start. Bryce, West Texas A&M all-time in season openers in the program, 33-21, but 2-0 here at Buffalo Stadium. We've been here for both of them, 2019 against Azusa Pacific, 2020 Oklahoma Panhandle State, and obviously trying to add on another one here tonight. And this stadium, when you get things going, you get the fans rocking, it's a lot of fun.
Oh, it really is. And again, that's the fun thing about Buffalo Stadium is it is so intimate. You're so close to the players in the action.
Got a new quarterback in here for Texas College, and we also have an interception by Ayrton Payne. Payne bringing it back at the 30. It's taken down. So Ayrton Payne, welcome back there, number 10.
Well, again, the nice thing about Ayrton, he makes things happen on special teams, as he is always in the right spot to make it happen. And same thing in the defensive back situation that time. He read it perfectly, playing center field as a corner. And again, Juwan Sterling was the quarterback, and so Juwan back to throw, goes over the middle, and the closest one to the football was Ayrton Payne. Just too much mustard on the pass, and Ayrton able to run it down and make a nice return, set up the Buffalo offense as they will take over in Steer territory at the 28-yard line. And so, again, nice setup for Areola and company to get the offense going once again.
Payne, the junior out of Houston, Texas, 2 special teams touchdowns in his career and also a fumble recovery. So add the interception to it now. It's a handoff to Heston Marshall, who's getting a carry for the first time tonight. He's done a lot of punt return and kick return duties. But back to Ayrton. One of the only players, Bryce, that I ever talk Colts football with.
Oh, sure.
He's a Colts fan.
Yeah, absolutely.
So his heart was broken a few seasons ago when Andrew Luck retired.
Yes.
Not sure what his thoughts are on the Colts this season. We did find out, sadly, Tuesday night at the coaches show that Hunter Hughes is not a Cowboys fan. He picked our Dallas Cowboys to lose all their games.
Well, I'm going to have to talk to Ayrton because I have a little experience with the Indianapolis Colts, or the Indiana Colts, whatever you want to call them. Indianapolis is where they're based.
So second down and long here for Areola in the Buffalo offense. They fake it, throw it across the middle. Intended receiver was Kenneth Red Jr. He was kind of running more of a go route. The ball was thrown like he was supposed to cut in.
And Ayrton got, or I should say that Areola got hit too as he released the pass, and so that might have kind of caused it to go off stride a little bit as well. And so good pressure from Texas College that time getting to the quarterback. Again, second and third teamers now in on the offensive line for the Buffaloes.
Marshall, that running back to the left. Wheeler product, wheeling and dealing up the middle and following blockers. He's got a Buffs first down up across the 15 to the 14-yard line. And Bryce, I know it's the opening game. I know obviously the opponent from the NAIA caliber, but our eyes tell us that number 32 is a special talent, just a freshman, Heston Marshall.
Great speed and great field awareness, or court awareness, as we say a lot in basketball, when you're aware of where everybody's at, and he has field awareness as he knows where to make the cuts. He knows where there should be an opening. We've seen that on punt kickoffs and kickoff returns tonight, and now as a running back.
3 receivers split to the far side. They'll hand it to Marshall again. Look at that hole open up as he cuts to the outside and has a gain of about 8 yards on first down, but nobody touched him before he was 5-6 yards down the field.
Guillory able to come over and make the stop, but you're right, he had already got to the second level and really saw kind of a slice to the right. He was able to cut back and pick up a couple of more and make it 2nd down and 4 on a nice 6-yard carry that time.
Braden Lesh in at tackle down the field blocking. And the Buffs in this second half, you're going to see them take their time, obviously getting up to the line with a comfortable 59-0 lead. This is actually the score of last year's game against Oklahoma Panhandle State. Play clock down to 5 seconds. And it's again a give to Marshall.
If you're Areola, you got to think a little bit too. I mean, if you read that, too, he looked to his left and he had nobody there. I wonder how tempting it was to pull that out and just continue to keep running.
Well, Areola, going back to his junior college days, he threw 53 touchdowns in 2 years out in California.
Yeah.
Don't know how many times he ran for touchdowns, but an impressive junior college career.
And I've seen in the scrimmage too, he's not afraid to run with the football. So he does, and he has some wheels. He's got some good speed, so not afraid to take off with it.
2 tight ends right in for the Buffaloes. Carnbay set to the left, Maxwell Perez on the far side of the field on 1st and goal from the 3-yard line. Marshall trying to bounce it to the outside, and he gets in to the end zone, but a late flag comes flying in. And I got to be completely honest, I thought I saw a hold. Maybe on the outside.
Well, and I was wondering, is it a holding penalty or is it a taunting penalty? Because as Marshall went across, kind of displayed the football as well. I think he was just trying to get it across the goal line is what he was doing.
Holding. On the offense, number 27.
Yeah,
10-yard penalty
it was
for the
Blake
spot.
Waters, and it wasn't for long, but you don't need, when you're at the 3-yard line, watch it up top. Right there, just a little tug of the jersey, and that did not allow for number 6
him to get to the
Cooper,
corner,
to get out on.
Well, that's good because that gives the coaches something to talk about a little bit as far as blocking. Because really, there's not going to be a lot to dissect from this one to be critical about.
Waters, a converted receiver, played quarterback in high school at J.J. Pierce. It's Heston Marshall going up the middle, pushing the pile. Did he get in? He did. Touchdown, Buffaloes. Heston Marshall follows the herd into the end zone.
So 2 freshmen able to come in and running back and score in tonight's ball game.
What a night for the high school stud from Wheeler, Texas.
And again, Marshall gets in on a nice run. Following it, again, patiently following offensive linemen to get in the end zone.
65-0. And this is officially the most points scored in the Hunter Hughes era, as that extra point is good. Gage Urias got tackled after he made that extra point. So there is going to be a penalty marker assessed when we come back. Here's a look at this replay. Look at Marshall.
And again, nice cut, and then patiently waiting for the push from the big guys up front, 79, 72, all out there giving everything they have. Jeremiah Stanley up there, and so
on the
is
try,
Brandon
running
Leach.
into the kicker. On the defense, number 20. Penalty is declined. Try's good.
All right, so we'll step aside, come back with the kick return. You're watching Buffalo football on the Lone Star Conference Digital Network, 66-0 WT.
It's got the looks, the style, the performance. Your new car is everything you always dreamed of, and now it's here. First Financial Bank was happy to help put you behind the wheel with a new car loan at a competitive rate and fast, friendly, local approval. It's service that just comes naturally to us, much like a love of tradition comes naturally to you. First Financial Bank, you first. Member FDIC.
Well, welcome back to Jay Ferg Field as the Buffaloes go on a 6-play, 28-yard drive. And the extra point is good after a 13-yard Heston Marshall run into the end zone. Pushes the Buffalo lead to 66-0 as the Buffaloes comfortably in front against NAIA School of Texas College out of Tyler, Texas.
This is actually a replay of that last run from Heston Marshall. That's good job.
That's kind of what it looked like.
Good
job
a little bit. Thunder Vision crew there.
Yeah, I mean, again, under the direction of Greg Ellis. And again, he's seeing a bunch of things that he can help get ready for their conference schedule as well. And the Buffaloes right now comfortably in front and more comfortably are able to get everybody that is suited up tonight as much as they can into the ball game.
And you look right now at the total yardage, 429 for West Texas A&M, just 2 yards, and I believe Bryce just 1 first down. Is that right?
Right. They got that in that last series. They got a first down. They have negative 13 yards rushing. That tells you what the front seven have been able to do all night long in this contest.
Yeah, we know from coach speak that in the game of football, everybody watches the quarterback, the running back, the receivers, but it's in the trenches where you win and lose games as a helmet comes popping off at the end of the run. Gage Smith, one of them, in on the tackle along with Ayrton Payne. And so it's one in the trenches. And Bryce, defensively and offensively, the lines for West Texas A&M have been outstanding.
They really have. And again, it doesn't matter to me what the competition is because it's their first opportunity, and this is a kickoff with Charles Cookwood getting stopped at the 20-yard line. But again, it's how are you executing? That's the thing. When they're going graded, that's what they're grading is on execution, and they've got to be really happy with what's taking place.
Let's get some reserve defensive lineman. There's a big hole for Diamond Woods. His best run of the evening, good for a first down for Texas College, move the chains.
And again, we knew Diamond had great speed. If he got into an open spot like that, he could exploit that with that extra gear that he has.
Jonathan Hernandez in on that tackle for
the Buffaloes getting in on the stop. Friona, Texas native Jonathan Hernandez. Hard running again for Woods. Tough to take down. He's got another big hole over the left side, gaining yardage up to the 46-yard line before he is stopped in the secondary.
One thing we haven't talked about with Hunter Hughes, because we saw in the scrimmage this year and is continuing here in the ballgame, he is calling the defensive signals for the defense. And so he signals those in to the captains and lets them know what he wants to run defensively.
Hand off over the right side. Good running again, and then just kind of losing his footing at the end was Woods. After he picked up a couple.
Woods was the ball carrier with 2-yard gain.
One of those youngsters in right now for West Texas A&M is number 43, Darius Carlson, a 6'3", 220-pound freshman, a linebacker.
I'm a little surprised a bit at the number of freshmen that are getting to play tonight, just from the standpoint that usually you redshirt a lot, but they have some they're so impressed with, they're getting him in game action.
Hand off over the right side. This time they give it to number 21, Charles Kirkwood, and he carries into Buffalo territory across midfield to the 48-yard line, sets up a very manageable third and short. They haven't had many third and shorts tonight. But on this drive, this has been the best drive of the entire ballgame for Greg Ellis's Texas College Steers team. That offensive line doing a nice job. And Bryce, so far, they haven't had the mistakes. They haven't went backwards with penalties.
Correct.
Look at the sideline of Hunter Hughes and J.T. Haddon. Hand off over the left side. Kirkwood, that time didn't get much. Good push up front for the Buffaloes.
So now decision time, you anticipate, and the linemen out there are saying, let's go for it. We want to push. And so 4th and 3, they got to get to the 44 to get the first down.
It was number 23, the linebacker, cleaning up that one, Terrence Clark. He's a freshman out of Dallas. 6', 200-pounder. And also number 93, Jamarcus Head. He was one of those guys that Coach JT Haddon told us about.
Right.
He's from Waxahachie.
Right.
Big frame, 6'3", 210. Love to hear that sound, the Maroon platoon making noise on 4th and short. It's a reverse, and the speed to the outside and a good finish from Derek Cooper. They run that play a couple of times. This time it goes for a first down for the Steers.
And got right to the first down marker, knew what he had to get to, and was able to turn the corner. And then it was just a foot race as he is able to get to the outside and then finds the marker and just lowers his shoulder to get over there for the first down.
Buffs have in at corner right now Jake Cosper wearing number 33. They'll stay on the ground. The Steers will. Good push from that D line. That time it was big number 94.
Yeah, Darius Jones. I mean, he came and was able to make a nice stop after he got blocked. As he's falling down, he's able to wrap up the feet and prevent the runner from getting away.
And this is, again, it's great for these backup. I mean, right now we're seeing some 3rd and 14 defensive linemen.
Absolutely.
Because that's a spot you want as much depth as possible.
Yes.
So they're kind of competing right now for who can come in and spell some of the starters later in the season.
And that's the end of the quarter.
Okay, so that'll take us to the end of the third. We played 3 quarters here at J. Ferg Field at Buffalo Stadium. West Texas A&M leading 66-0. We'll come back with a 4th quarter after this timeout here on the Lone Star Conference Digital Network.
We are Carpet Tech, and we are family. More than carpet cleaners, we're a team. Diving right in, not afraid to invest in our work and each other. We're killing it day in and day out, never shrinking from a challenge. Our people are 1 part passion, 1 part grit, and about a zillion parts awesome. And we are always looking to add to our family. So what are you waiting for?
Deep in the heart of Texas, the prairie
Bud Light, proudly brewed.
J. Ferg Field, Buffalo Stadium. Buffalo's comfortably in front, 66-0 over Texas College. And again, the kind of opening you want to have, that you want to see. The Buffalo's 429 yards offensively tonight, 279 on the ground, 280 through the air, or 150 through the air. Can't even do my math right. And then only allowing 37 yards so far offensively, 22 on the ground for Texas College. And so, again, it's been a very impressive first game performance for the Buffaloes tonight.
For your continued support of Buffalo football.
2nd down and 11 for Texas College is the Steers.
See the Buffs bring up a linebacker on the outside. It's Hernandez. See if they rush him from the outside spot. They do. Quarterback will heave this one. Has a receiver down there, and he overshoots the intended receiver. McConico had a man open on the Buffs sideline, but just threw it too far where Derek Cooper could not reach it. And so it'll make it 3rd down and long. Tonight's broadcast brought to you by the Buffalo Club. We appreciate their support, along with all of our sponsors for the broadcast this evening. 7 home games this season.
Yeah, that's what's great. I mean, we get to watch them 7 times here at Buffalo Stadium, so it'll be a fun year all the way around.
Of course, next week, WT on the road, as it'll be next Saturday. Again, playing the opener on a Thursday night, but next Saturday, different opponent, and an opponent that'll be ready for WT, UT Permian Basin.
And the thing about it, we'll get to this in a moment after this play.
Okay. Under center, McConico will roll to the right, picks up a block, throws this one short and nearly picked off. On the outside, Cosper came up and tried to scoop it up off the turf.
So UTPB, University of Texas Permian Basin down in Odessa, and again, their game scheduled for this weekend has been canceled. They were playing a team, I think, from Oklahoma. I'm trying to remember who it was. I can't off the top of my head, but nevertheless, that game was canceled because that team they were playing had too many COVID cases and weren't able to play. As we look on the big screen, there's Jerry Compton on our screen as well. Big smile on his face. So he's enjoying the atmosphere here at Buffalo Stadium. Timeout taken by Texas College.
Steers take the timeout, so we'll take
timeout. Texas College.
Them as well. Score
66-0.
Buffalo's leading in the season opener over Texas College. We're back after this timeout.
This is what a new heart valve looks like. This is what a bypassed artery looks like. And this is what a repaired aortic aneurysm looks like. The BSA Heart and Vascular Team is here to help you live life to the fullest. From our state-of-the-art cardiac technologies to our dedicated heart specialists, our goal is to help you take the very best care of your heart so you can enjoy everything else that matters to you. BSA for life.
When you choose natural gas, chocolate chip cookies get a little tastier. Homes get a little cozier. Bank accounts tend to put on some weight. Towels get fluffier. Showers stay hotter for longer. And our blue planet gets a little greener. When it comes to choosing energy that's clean.
All right, welcome back to the action here. 4th down and long. McConaughey steps up in the pocket. A lot of running room for the shifty quarterback, and he tries to pick up as much as he can. He's going to be short of the first down. Good tackle in the open field for the Buffaloes, and it'll be a turnover on downs. Buffs will get the ball at the 39-yard line.
Nice stop by Jonathan Hernandez, who comes up and makes the stop, playing what he's supposed to as a corner, playing in center field, basically, is able to come up, as a linebacker, able to come up and make the stop. Southwest Baptist is who UT Permian was supposed to play.
Okay.
So that game has been canceled. So their first game will be against WT on 9/11.
Some of the other schools around the Lone Star Conference, Western New Mexico, they're back in action. They open up at Adams State this Saturday. Eastern New Mexico will play in Portales at home against Central Washington. Here's the handoff on the first play to Smallwood. Tough running. Gets across the 45 up to the 46-yard line.
That's what's fun just watching him is he's not afraid of the contact. He kind of likes it, and that he really kind of explodes once he's been hit.
It's probably one of the key games to look at. A lot of fans excited about this one in the Lone Star Conference and also in the RMAC. Texas A&M Commerce opens up tonight at Colorado State Pueblo. So we'll see if we can get a score update on that one.
Yeah, that one. And then Angelo, of course, playing tonight against Lindenwood as well. And so a lot of teams in action tonight.
Two running backs in the backfield. It's a handoff to Smallwood and a good tackle by number 40 coming up to make the stop.
That's the linebacker.
Malik Guillory.
He's played well. A lot of their ones obviously still playing in this one, trying to get game experience, and that's really what Coach Ellis is looking for, is his club getting, they haven't had meaningful exchanges, in 2 years, so he wants his ones to get as much contact as they can.
3rd down and short. Just barely a yard here for the Buffs to pick up. Three receivers split to the far side as Caleb Areola works from the gun. Smallwood has the first down and then some. And that was a good play call. Looked like some pressure came from the outside, but the Buffs went right up the middle. Good hole opened up. Offensive line did their job, and Smallwood continues to run with some power.
Really announced crowd for tonight, 5,358. So a good crowd on hand for this Thursday night opener. So good to see everybody on hand for this one.
First down and 10 for West Texas A&M. They continue to run that clock. 12 minutes and change remain in the final quarter. Smallwood, big hole, opens up. He's at the 35, down the field, staying on his feet. A late penalty marker is launched.
Isaiah Smallwood.
And so we'll see what that one is. It could be coming back, but that was a good run by Isaiah Smallwood. Khalil Harris looking on.
Where they threw the flag at the 20-yard line, you would think could be holding. WT starting to walk backwards a little bit. As now they're going to move it up to the 22-yard line. And if it is a holding, they'll move it back. It should still be a first down.
Block in the back on the offense, number 77. 10 yards from the spot. It'll be first down.
Yeah, so it'll still be a first down because it's such an explosive run. And so that the only bad thing about that penalty is it takes 10 yards away on his run. And so and there you could just see it on the replay a little bit, and a little push into the back on 77. And so, again, just had a guy in front of him, and you do what you naturally do when you're running into him. You push him out of the way.
So it's still first down. Back the football up a little bit. 1st and 10 from the 32-yard line. Keep it on the ground with Smallwood. Cuts back inside. Follows the blocking of A.J. Magruder up to the 25-yard line. It's a 7-yard gain again for Isaiah Smallwood.
You know, we talked about that offensive line being deep, and so that, you know, their ones and twos basically are interchangeable. The nice thing about a game like this, too, is those threes that are getting the game experience, and so that just makes it so much better as you continue on through the season. The fact that they got in-game reps, and so they get that contact, they know what it feels like, and when they get the calls in from the sideline, with a crowd, you know, around them, they're able to kind of read and understand and dissect what they need to do.
Score update for you. I believe this one in Pueblo. Texas A&M Commerce update. They lead 12-6, and that is halfway through the third quarter. Here's a handoff. Lindsey, look at the big guy make a juke to the outside, high step at the 5. And nearly gets into the end zone again. I'm telling you, this number 49 making the most of his opportunities. And he's much quicker, Bryce, than he looks.
Yeah, he really is. I mean, he looks more like a fullback, but, man, he really, as you can see here, he goes to the right side, then cuts back across the grain, and then feels the contact, high steps it, and takes on 3 tacklers and rolls down to the 1-yard line. And, again, making the most of the opportunity. And it's kind of funny, you hear the crowd groan because he didn't get in the end zone. They were excited for the run and upset that he didn't get that final yard into the score. I think this is what's hard for WTs because they're trying to let the game clock run down, and so they have to wait after they already had the signal in from the sideline.
Marcus Lindsey, does he get another one? Oh, goodness. Ran into a couple of players, tried to push his way forward, but Texas College, there were too many white jerseys.
Well, and that's
the
thing. The Steers know WT is going to run the football because they want to keep the clock running, and so you kind of can cheat and bring everybody up in the box a little bit, including your secondary, and so you just don't want to get caught flat-footed on a play like that, and they don't anticipate that the Buffs are going to throw it. They're going to continue to run it, and so, you know, that's why they can cheat everybody up, which they would normally not do in a regular game.
Let's see if they stay on the ground or if they let Areola maybe go some play action. He's got some talented receivers in there. Out of the gun with Smallwood, the running back, to the left. Being very patient, watching that play clock go all the way down to 3 seconds. They fake it to Smallwood. There's that quarterback keeper you were calling for, Bryce. But the defense ready for Areola, and a loss on the play that time.
Well,
so they played it well, the Steers did.
They really did. They left a corner out there, and that was his job, was to spy on anybody coming to the outside, which in that case it was the quarterback. And so really nowhere for Areola to go, just lower his shoulder and try to make something happen. And he did try to do a good job. And so, again, keeping it on the ground, trying to keep the clock running, as we're down to 8:17 left to play in the ball game. Again, no doubt about the outcome. The Buffs lead this one 66-0. And so, again, it's just now down to how do they execute in the run game.
Smallwood still the running back. Maxwell Perez, the tight end, to the right. Jeremy Carnbay, tight end, to the far side of the field. Kenneth Red Jr. in the slot, and Blake Waters, the receiver, to the outside. Stacking the box, the Steers bringing some pressure. Smallwood, no problem, into the end zone, touchdown, Buffs.
Nice run by Smallwood again. He cuts against the grain a little bit, then looks for a blocker up front, able to follow a lineman all the way into the end zone for the score. Nice run by Smallwood. 7:41 left to play. Smallwood gets in again.
And with that one there, the Buffs are now at 500 total yards of offense. Some movement up front on this extra point. I don't think I saw any flags, but I am seeing some bodies fall at the very end. A.J. Magruder mixing it up with a few of the Steers down there. The extra point's good, and the Buffaloes extend that lead now to 73-0. Still 7:41 to play. We're back after these messages. You're watching Buffalo football on the Lone Star Conference Digital Network.
WT student athletes drink low-fat chocolate milk post-workout because it helps replenish and restore muscles quickly to their peak potential. Scientific studies suggest that the immediate benefits of low-fat chocolate milk include boosted performance, improved training, and higher recovery rates in athletes. Add low-fat chocolate milk to your post-workout routine.
Go Buffs!
Buffalo Stadium broadcast tonight brought to you by the Buffalo Club. We appreciate their support. Mentioned some of the Lone Star Conference action, and that was the correct score. What we had in third quarter, Texas A&M Commerce leading over CSU Pueblo in a defensive battle. It was 6-6 at halftime. It's now 12-6. The Commerce Lions, the preseason pick to win the LSC. And that would be an impressive road victory. We have been to that stadium before, Bryce. We know the Thunderbolt.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Tough place for opponents to go and win.
Yes. Yeah, absolutely. That is a tough place to play.
Speaking of tough places to win, Buffalo Stadium. Tough place to come in and get a victory, and the Steers finding that out tonight as they trail 73-0 to West Texas A&M. Kickoff angle to the far side of the field, taken at the 10-yard line. And a good tackle at the end of that one. Ayrton Payne, he has made the most of really every opportunity that he has been on the field in some way. Made an interception tonight, has had some good tackles as well on special teams and from his defensive back position. And it has been a perfect night, perfect way to open up the season. Great weather.
Yeah, fantastic night here at Buffalo Stadium, and a good crowd over, you said 5,300, I believe, here on tap for this Thursday night game.
Here's the play. A flag comes in at the end of this run across the 25 up to the 27-yard line. Officials huddle up to sort this out. Reminder that tomorrow here on the Lone Star Conference Digital Network, volleyball action for you as the Brick Care Lady Buff Classic starts. And you can tell Kendra Potts
on the offense.
Excited, yeah, she's so ready to go.
10-yard penalty.
Such a fun interview, and so, yeah, they're excited for their first match at 11:30 tomorrow.
That's right.
So if you can come out to the box, do so. If you can't, then obviously you can listen to Lucas and watch on the digital network some of the action that's going on.
Good look at Jalen Hill down there, defensive lineman for the Buffaloes. They've done their job tonight. Really, position by position, I think the grades are going to be pretty good for this opener. Here's a pass that's thrown, the fade route caught down the sideline as they were able to connect on that play. Receiver on the far side, Keyshawn Henderson hauls in that pass.
Nice timing pattern from Akaniko that time to Henderson, as that's all it was he let it go before Henderson even really got into his break, and Henderson just ran under it and was able to pull it in for the first down.
Under center this time, Akaniko Jr. turns, hands it to his running back.
Nice stop that time defensively as Jonathan Hernandez comes up and is able to put pressure on and make the stop for no gain.
It was Dewane Newton wearing number 46 for Texas College. And Bryce, you talked about it earlier. They're going to play Langston University next week in the Sooner Athletic Conference. So that's the conference that Oklahoma Panhandle State resides in. Pressure up the middle, ball thrown and caught. What a catch down the near sideline. Again, for Texas College, at the time it was Derek Cooper, but a big hit right in the quarterback's face.
And Ty Dillon really played good pressure defense that time. It's just that the receiver went up over him and was able to pull that one in, and you're right.
Look at this.
I mean, just as soon as McConaughey releases, he is blasted. And again, you can see right there just going up and pulling that one in. Nice catch from Derek Cooper.
That was big 51. I say big, 6'4", 210. Eric Goodman, a freshman from College Station, Texas, an all-stater. How about this? Last season, his last year in high school, he set a school record with 23 sacks.
Oh! Wow.
That was a collision right there.
I'll tell you what, going up for that pass.
That was Staszewski, Bryce, that defensively.
Chariot Landers went up in the air and got upended.
Was it 46 or 48?
I think it was 47. He was the fullback in the play, and here's the pass.
No, that's Staszewski.
And it's 47 that comes that was trying to catch it, and so. Yep. But he's okay. I mean, I'd still be laying on the turf if it was me, but nevertheless.
Anybody know? Yeah. Goodness.
He's back out there in the I formation, ready to go as the crowd watches it on the big board.
Anytime you hear that, you know there was a big hit. But fortunately, both players okay. Here's a heave to the end zone and nearly intercepted. Ball was thrown up for grabs. It was anybody's football. And the Buffs defensively playing back there, number 24, Carson Otworth.
And again, we apologize because a lot of players are in that we wouldn't normally get to see in the ball game. And so it's wonderful for them to get a chance to get out there. And again, Carson Otworth out there playing the way the coaches want him to in the secondary as he was step for step and able to break up the pass as it was coming in.
6'1", 180-pound freshman from Round Rock High School.
Late receiver coming in. It's Luke Adam.
And this freshman class, you know, there weren't as many that Coach Hughes signed, but he was very pleased with the players he did get. They've shown it tonight. There's a tackle on the outside for the Buffs from Ty Dillon, another freshman, another player also from Round Rock.
That pass was to Luke Adel, and he was able to pull it in, but just well short of the first down, so it brings up 4th and long for the Steers.
4th down.
So we'll see two running backs in the backfield with McConaughey on 4th down and 7 from the Buffs' 28-yard line. Pressure being applied, and the quarterback is taken down. Give credit that time to Jamarcus Head for coming up and making a great play there defensively.
And Head, you can see, he's just having a good time out there as he makes a big stop. And again, as we talked about a little bit, he is one of those young guys that the coach was talking about, that JT Haddon was talking about, that, you know, they're excited to see. And so as the Buff offense comes out, but obviously we are in a bit of a timeout here.
73-0. You're in the season opener and still 4:14 to play, and so this is what they hoped for in terms of the Buffaloes coaching staff and players, and obviously Buff Nation. But Bryce, I know Coach Hughes, he will be excited, he will be happy for his team, and I think very happy for the younger players for what we did tonight.
Right.
But it'll be a quick turnaround, and we're probably going to hear, yes, but next week we know the level of play
steps up a lot, and we're going to be in conference play, and it's going to be an important ball game, and it's on the road. And so, again, it's wonderful to have 7 home games, but, again, your first real road test comes against a conference opponent in UTPB. And, again, we talked about the game they had with Southwest Baptist was canceled, so now they throw everything out on the practice field as they get ready for WT, and they've already started that process, and they're probably some of our viewers tonight watching this ball game since they're not playing this weekend, and so again, they're getting a chance to watch to see how the Buffaloes play.
Thanks to everyone who has watched tonight here on the Lone Star Conference Digital Network. Hand off to Marcus Lindsay, and the Steers have found out that number 49, it takes 1, 2, sometimes 3 players to bring him down.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, he is a bowling ball, and again, with good speed. And so that's, he's just hard to tackle, hard to get to the turf, and he does a nice job. And so, and again, right now what's happening for the Buffaloes more than anything else with 3:48 left to play is they're trying to take as much time off the play clock as they can. And so that kind of slows down your momentum and slows down, just your overall speed and intensity a little bit because you're having to wait before you step up and get set to take the snap.
These second and third team offensive linemen have been very good as well, as it's been a surge all night long offensively with the run game. There's another one, another first down run across the 40 to the 41-yard line for Lindsay.
Lindsay once again, yeah.
And right now the Buffs have chewed up an average of 10 yards per carry.
Well, Lindsay's averaging 10.4 yards per carry. And so that's his 5th carry for 52 yards tonight. You have Harris, who has over 111, Compton with 94, Smallwood with 68, Lindsay with 52, Marshall with 38. And so, I mean, Jordan Johnson, one of our favorites, only has 1 yard, but that was a touchdown. So, and you got his work in. You don't want to, get him tired or anything.
You have to respect your elders.
Yeah, absolutely, right? Absolutely.
Give Pawpaw the touchdown.
Yeah. He got in, got what he needed. Absolutely. But no, the Buffs look really fun. I mean, they're a fun team to watch right now, and it's been a good ball game.
Here's a handoff up the middle. Smallwood bursting through.
And again, we talk about all these yards for these players, but go back again to the offensive line and credit the big holes they're opening. And so that's why these running backs are able to get to the second and third level. I was wrong. Jordan Johnson's coming in now. So I guess he's going to get some action in as well. But they get to the second and third level. And so when you're going 5, 6, 7 yards before contact, boy, that makes it easy.
Jeremiah Stanley in at center right now, and impressed with his work. 6'2", 275-pound redshirt freshman from Iowa Park. Spot that we drive through a lot.
1:41 left to play, and so the Buffaloes in the victory formation as they, with that first down, are going to be able to come out, and that's why they bring some of the players out that they do, the veteran players, as they will come out and get in the victory formation.
Take the knee there, so West Texas A&M going to start the season off on the right foot, and it will be 3-0 at Buffalo Stadium in the home openers for Hunter Hughes, and obviously since opening up Jay Ferg Field at Buffalo Stadium. So excited for the next time we get to come back here and see the Buffs. But next Saturday, very important already. You talk about early conference game that carries a lot of weight. UT Permian Basin feels like they're getting close to being up in that upper echelon of the LSC.
Well, they won. They have that claim. They won the Lone Star Conference this spring because, they did have the best record and came away with a victory. And so they've got a chip on their shoulder. WT's got a chip on theirs too. And so Coach Hughes will be ready to go down there.
Take another knee, and that should be the last play of the ball game as Coach Hughes makes his way out to midfield. Go find Greg Ellis and shake hands with Texas College Steers. Great job all night long by Maroon Platoon and Buff Nation, with West Texas A&M fans showing up tonight, being loud early and often, as the Buffaloes are going to win the season opener by the final of 73-0 over Texas College. So we will step aside, take a timeout, and then when we come back, we'll start the post-game activities here from Buffalo Stadium. As you see the lights flashing, fans enjoying themselves, everybody having a party here tonight in Canyon. So we'll step aside and be right back with the post-game activities here on the Lone Star Conference Digital Network. Buffs win 73-0.
How do you make something that's already fresh even fresher? By adding fresh new things, like crisp pico de gallo for a little kick, and creamy cilantro lime sauce for that extra whoa. And pepper jack cheese because, of course, all on top of 2 fresh beef patties, or with chicken on a brioche bun. Whataburger's limited time pico de gallo burger and new pico de gallo chicken sandwiches. Good thing for fresh things. Good thing there's Whataburger.
This is a walk-on athlete. They train longer, put their heart into the game. This is the passion we're built on. It's why we put our heart into creating game day with a taste of Louisiana. Walk-ons, we live for this.
The best tailgates start with the best beef, and the best beef starts with Market Street. Market Street, where we do beef the best.
Welcome to Shimon Dental Group, where every day we're excited to see our patients and treat them like family. We are dedicated to providing you with the highest quality care in a friendly and comfortable environment. Shimon Dental Group's patient-focused philosophy puts your needs front and center.
We are constantly investing in leading-edge technology. Innovations that speed the treatment process and improve aesthetics. We're expanding the breadth of our cosmetic and restorative services through training to provide the best possible outcomes.
Just with the level of commitment that they show to taking care of my family and I, it's absolutely unmatched in this town, so I've been very happy with them.
Brightening smiles for more than 3 decades.
Contact Shimon Dental Group for your appointment today.
When joints begin to fail, it's more than an inconvenience. The relentless grinding pain slows you down and can even stop you from doing the things you enjoy in life. At Physicians Surgical Hospitals, our skilled orthopedic experts are using advanced robotic surgeries to get you back to being you sooner with a less painful recovery. We're doing more than restoring joints. We're restoring lives.
Welcome to MetaDrive Pharmacy, Canyon's hometown pharmacy for over 32 years. We greet you by name, and our pharmacists take the time to counsel you and answer all your questions. Our Health Mart Pharmacy specializes in serving our community with fast, friendly, professional service and the highest quality medicines and health products. We accept most insurance plans, including Medicaid and Medicare, and we offer free in-town delivery to your home or business. Come visit us for all your healthcare needs.
Welcome back to Jay Ferg Field at Buffalo Stadium, where West Texas A&M does the job tonight and then some. They win by the final of 73-0 over Texas College. Most points scored in the Hunter Hughes era by far. Last year when they opened up the season against Oklahoma Panhandle State, it was 59 points that they had scored. And so, Bryce, it just seems like we're just going on and on about all the great things. But for West Texas A&M, again, this is what Hunter Hughes wanted to see. He knew coming into this that his team was going to have more depth and just probably have more talent overall than Texas College. But sometimes in the first game, it doesn't all just work.
It doesn't
perfectly.
And the thing is, what you're really looking at from a coaching standpoint is the execution, not so much the score. Yes, you want to come away with a win, and obviously tonight they scored a bunch of points. A lot of players got in and got some good experience. But you want to see the execution. You want to see if from what you've done in practice carries over into the game. And I think from the coaching staff, they're very pleased with what they saw tonight of their 1s and 2s and even their 3s tonight.
Well, the total yardage, 534 total yards, and really 150 passing. They really didn't pass much past the first quarter.
No.
Nick Gerber was very sharp when he was in. Areola, by the time he got in, the score was so lopsided that he didn't get
pass really too much.
Didn't get to throw as much.
Right.
But when you can run for 384 rushing yards, averaging 10 yards a play, goodness.
Yeah, and that's the thing. And, I mean, it'll show that Texas College had 102 yards in tonight's ball game, but they only had 2 at the end of 3 quarters of play and got 100 against the 3s and 4s, and to their credit, they didn't give up. They had their first teamers out there, and so they were still trying to do some things and execute some things as well. But again, you really got to look at the execution, and I think that's what the coaching staff's going to like from what they saw from the front 7 defensively and what the offensive line was able to do and the holes they were able to open up. Because, again, it's against a team they didn't know anything about, players they haven't played against before, and so you just never know. And so they were pretty happy with that.
Well, in pregame we had the X-Bar Steakhouse factors of the game, right?
Yes.
I think we might, the offensive line probably needs to go to
the X-Bar, Steakhouse,
and
celebrate. They really should because they played so well tonight. And again, when you have 384 yards on the ground, and again, it doesn't matter as much the competition. It's were you doing the right things? Were you opening up the holes? Because all you can ask the running backs to do, get to the hole and get through it and go.
So the first part is the offensive line. The second part are those running backs. Khalil Harris had an outstanding game tonight. Obviously, we're going to get a chance to visit with him. Jared Compton got in, and we saw Jared do what Jared does, make plays with his speed.
Yes.
Also, Isaiah Smallwood was good tonight. And then getting in the mix was Marcus Lindsey, the big fullback type that made some nice runs. Obviously, Heston Marshall was good as well. He had 5 carries for 38 yards and 1 touchdown. He was great in the return game. So they all got a lot of touches. Everybody's happy tonight. Got to have a quick turnaround and get ready for Lone Star Conference play next week. But we liked what we saw tonight.
It really did, and really what I liked was the way that the offense moved the ball, both on the pass and the run. And again, when you have somebody like Khalil Harris, who on the very first play goes 69 yards, but he does that because he got a big hole to run through and really then just took off and used his speed. But those are the things that we saw the offensive side do is really good at moving both through the air and on the ground. And then defensively, the secondary may have been bored tonight. I know we're going to have Ayrton Payne up here in just a little bit, and he had an interception, which is great. But for the most part, those front 7 control this ball game.
And when your front 7 controls it, it makes everything easier for your defense. So great job all the way around for the Buffaloes. They win at 73-0 in the season opener here tonight at Buffalo Stadium. Our broadcast tonight brought to you by the Buffalo Club, so we appreciate their support. We'll step aside, take another timeout when we come back. A few more stats, also some highlights, and a chance to visit with a few of the players and head coach Hunter Hughes as well. Everyone happy tonight. Buffs win 73-0. Stick around. More postgame after this timeout on the Lone Star Conference Digital Network.
choosing the right countertops for your kitchen can be tricky. Nowadays, there are hundreds of colors, patterns, and textures and materials that range from natural to engineered stone. Marble Depot is here for you throughout every step of the process. And yes, we do have a lot of options that might make that decision a little harder, but we're also going to ask the right questions so that you get the most out of your investment. So come by our showroom and let us help create what you've been dreaming of.
For 90 years, the Lone Star Conference has been committed to excellence. What began in 1931 as a 5-team conference has grown to 18 institutions spanning 4 states. And while membership has changed, the pursuit of athletic success and academic excellence has never wavered. 118 national championships, over 2,000 All-Americans, and nearly 300 academic All-Americans. Celebrating 90 years of success, this is the Lone Star Conference.
Jenkins Doors and Windows began serving the Texas Panhandle in 1927, and we take pride in being a part of your neighborhood. We don't use false promises or gimmicks. We simply offer quality doors and windows at a fair price, and we stand behind every sale. Jenkins is family owned and operated, and proudly continues the traditions of quality and excellence that started over 80 years ago. Call us at 372-4336 or stop by our showroom at 820 West 6th and let our knowledgeable staff help you pick out the perfect doors and windows for your home.
Welcome back to Jay Ferg Field at Buffalo Stadium, where West Texas A&M wins the home opener, the season opener tonight over Texas College by the final of 73-0. Talked about that being the most points in the Hunter Hughes era, also the most points that the Buffs have scored since October 26th of 2013. And so
there you go.
A lot of things being done tonight by the offense, also by the defense. We're being joined by one of the offensive stars, and that is Khalil Harris. Khalil, thanks for stopping by and talk to us just about this opener, how fun it was to be out there on the field with a lot of fans, back to a kind of a normal routine of what you were used to a couple years ago.
It was exciting. I think every running back on the roster scored. So it was very fun.
What more can you ask for, right?
Yeah. So, well, talk about your first score in the first play tonight. I mean, I'm going to go back, and we've talked a lot about the offensive line tonight. Mm-hmm. And, man, it looked like from our standpoint they were opening up some big holes for you guys to be able to get through.
Yeah, they were. The O-line was great. All fall camp, they've been opening up holes. I feel like we've been successfully running the ball every practice.
So this was no surprise to you tonight?
I was just prepared. I was ready, and I was excited.
Okay.
I don't know.
I want to ask you this question. We've watched you for the last several years, and really since your freshman year, we were impressed with your running style, just the powerful, but also a patient runner. As you've grown up and watched the game, is there any runner that you tried to maybe emulate your style from, or try to say, hey, I want to be a little bit like this guy or that guy?
Yeah, before every game, I watch Walter Payton. I watch Adrian Peterson.
Yes.
I watch Alvin Kamara. I watch Saquon Barkley. I watch a lot of
Okay, this young kid knows his history, Bryce.
Kid, if you're watching Walter Payton, that goes back in my day. And so, yeah, you cannot go wrong with watching Walter Payton. I mean, that guy was an incredible running back. All the players you listed were that way, too. Talk a little bit about tonight. I know not a lot of carries, 7 carries, 111 yards, got a couple of scores, but your average was 15.9, which means you're getting into the second and third level quite often. And so what were you looking at? What were you seeing that really helped propel you tonight?
It's just what we practiced with Coach Demas, what we practiced with the O-line. I mean, it was nothing new. It was just repetition, so it wasn't really difficult.
Khalil, you guys next week will turn around and very quickly have a Lone Star Conference opponent. And so we go from the opener, which you guys went out and did what we hoped we would see tonight against Texas College. And so next week you turn it around, you got to play UT Permian Basin. You know that everything ratchets it up, several notches. So what's the game plan? What's the mindset for you guys as you get ready quickly to go into conference play?
Come prepared and run the ball hard.
Okay.
Throw the ball. Just all-around offense. I feel like that's when we're most successful.
You've been here for a few seasons, and Coach Hughes had told me earlier this week, he said this has potential to be the best offense that we have had in his time here. Would you agree, and why? I
do agree, because for those same reasons, I feel like we can have a very efficient offense. We have a very deep team, and it's just do what we do.
Talk real quick, too. A question I want to throw at you, too, is your quarterback, Nick Gerber. And it just feels like in Coach Martin's system, you guys obviously are comfortable with it, but it seems like he is playing maybe a step ahead, understanding what Coach Martin wants to run.
Yeah, I think Gerber makes great run checks, great passing checks. I think I have full confidence in him to do whatever we need to do for the team.
Awesome. Khalil Harris, one of the stars from tonight's game, just carried the ball 7 times, had 111 rushing yards and 2 touchdowns. And he also won my Twitter poll for the year of who was going to get that first touchdown, who was going to get the Stampede baby. It was this guy right here, number 34, Khalil Harris. So we're going to take another timeout. When we come back, we'll continue with post-game interviews, bring in Ayrton Payne, I believe, and also get to visit with head coach Hunter Hughes. You're watching West Texas A&M football. Buffs win big tonight, 73-0. And we're back with more after these messages on the Lone Star Conference Digital Network.
J. Ferg Roofing has been protecting our community for 15 years. With more than 30,000 homes and businesses protected by our roofing work, we're proud of our ability to provide efficient, lasting solutions for your roofing needs. What makes us stand out from the competition is that we work for you with dedicated team members who guide you every step of the way. That is the J. Ferg advantage. Quality, experience, fast pass scheduling, customer rewards. We have it all. Call J. Ferg Roofing today for a free inspection. We are J. Ferg Roofing. We are more.
Welcome to MetaDrive Pharmacy, Canyon's hometown pharmacy for over 32 years. We greet you by name, and our pharmacists take the time to counsel you and answer all your questions. Our Health Mart Pharmacy specializes in serving our community with fast, friendly, professional service and the highest quality medicines and health products. We accept most insurance plans, including Medicaid and Medicare, and we offer free in-town delivery to your home or business. Come visit us for all your healthcare needs.
Choosing the right countertops for your kitchen can be tricky. Nowadays, there are hundreds of colors, patterns, and textures and materials that range from natural to engineered stone. Marble Depot is here for you throughout every step of the process. And yes, we do have a lot of options that might make that decision a little harder, but we're also going to ask the right questions so that you get the most out of your investment. So come by our showroom and let us help create what you've been dreaming of.
Welcome back to our post-game show tonight. Ayrton Payne joins us. Thinking of something else here as I'm looking at notes. Had a great night, 6 tackles, had an interception tonight, and more importantly, we understand he's an Indianapolis Colts fan. So,
says the guy from Indiana.
Says the guy from Indiana.
Yeah, right.
So, I can't argue with that too much. But talk about really defensively tonight. For Texas College, they only had 2 total yards through the third quarter going into the fourth. Now they end up with 102, but the thing is, it seemed like the front 7 made it pretty comfortable for you guys in the secondary just to kind of watch and keep everything in front.
Yeah, I think they were in a lot of 12 personnel. They had a lot of tight ends, and they were using a fullback as well. So they were 22 personnel, a lot of that stuff. So our D-line and our linebackers were they were penetrating the offensive line and not letting them get through. So it made our job in the secondary pretty easy tonight.
So coming into this ball game too, and you knew you were a little deeper in about every position this year as well. Got some freshmen, some redshirt freshmen that are playing, but on that defensive line this year, did you have a sense that they probably would take a step up this year?
Yeah, we had, I think, most of our defensive line was returning this year. Jalen, X, Dylan Mata, just to name a few of them that came back in. Those guys have been playing great for us since I've been here and stuff like that. So
who is the leader? Who's the guy that makes you guys go?
On the defensive side,
yes.
I would probably say Chris Thomas, our middle linebacker. Yeah, he's, since taking, since Hayden left, and he's kind of taken over that spot.
Right.
He's during practice, making sure the energy's up, making sure everyone's on top of their game,
right.
And yeah, he's definitely been our leader defensively, I would say.
You know, Ayrton, we've seen you for several seasons making plays. You go back a couple of years ago, you were the guy that always seemed to find a big play on special teams and came through with those plays. But some would look at you, say undersized, but man, you bring a punch out there on the football field. Talk about your mentality as a player out on the field, even tonight, out there making plays all over the field. Not the biggest guy, but definitely, I mean, flying around.
Yes, sir. I mean, that's pretty much my mentality.
Yeah.
I'm a small guy, and if I want to make a play, I gotta give it my all.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm just, like you said, undersized. So I gotta bring it twice as hard to those bigger guys that I'm going up against.
We love watching you play. A tough football player for sure. And so, last question we got to ask this guy is explain, if you can, the Colts. He likes the Indianapolis Colts. I remember when Andrew Luck retired. You were heartbroken.
That was tough, wasn't it?
Oh yeah, it was. I remember
hard.
I got a text from a friend that I usually don't get texts from, and he told me he retired, and I honestly didn't believe him. I didn't believe him until I saw it all on social media and everything like that, and yeah, it was tough. It was tough.
I tell you what, the Colts are a fun team to watch, and so again, originally from Indiana and Indianapolis, and that's one of the first teams I ever got to go see a long time ago, and so anyway, that's why I have a affinity for the Colts. But real quick, talk a little bit about the interception and what you see, and how did that come floating into your hands? Yeah,
so we were. I was a deep safety there, a deep half. They had two receivers into the boundary. They both ran vertical. Our cornerback did a great job of funneling him inside, so it kind of put them both right on top of each other, and made my job a lot easier. Quarterback threw it, and he pretty much threw it right to me. Yeah. So cornerback did a great job on that play. I believe it was Ty, freshman this year. So, he did a great job and made my job a lot easier.
Yeah,
so
very nice.
Leading tackler for the Buffs tonight, Ayrton Payne, 6 tackles, also the big interception, and the defense does its job as the Buffs win 73-0 over Texas College. We'll step aside, take another timeout, and wrap up the postgame. When we come back, WT defeats the Texas College Steers, and you're watching Buffalo football on the Lone Star Conference Digital Network.
For 90 years, the Lone Star Conference has been committed to excellence. What began in 1931 as a 5-team conference has grown to 18 institutions spanning 4 states. And while membership has changed, the pursuit of athletic success and academic excellence has never wavered. 119 national championships, over 2,000 All-Americans, and nearly 300 academic All-Americans. Celebrating 90 years of success, this is the Lone Star Conference.
Jenkins Doors and Windows began serving the Texas Panhandle in 1927, and we take pride in being a part of your neighborhood. We don't use false promises or gimmicks. We simply offer quality doors and windows at a fair price, and we stand behind every sale. Jenkins is family owned and operated, and proudly continues the traditions of quality and excellence that started over 80 years ago. Call us at 372-4336 or stop by our showroom at 820 West 6th and let our knowledgeable staff help you pick out the perfect doors and windows for your home.
J. Ferg Roofing has been protecting our community for 15 years. With more than 30,000 homes and businesses protected by our roofing work, we're proud of our ability to provide efficient, lasting solutions for your roofing needs. What makes us stand out from the competition? That we work for you, dedicated team members who guide you every step of the way. That is the J. Ferg advantage. Quality, experience, fast pass scheduling, customer rewards. We have it all. Call J. Ferg Roofing today for a free inspection. We are J. Ferg Roofing. We are more.
Welcome back to Jay Ferg Field at Buffalo Stadium as we are in the postgame. Buffs win the home opener, the season opener, 73-0 over Texas College. And favorite guy up here joining us, even though he's got jokes as he comes in the booth tonight, but all smiles.
I'll speak the truth.
He does speak the truth, except for your comments about our Dallas Cowboys. But the Buffs win 73-0. And Coach, talk about this home opener. Was it everything that you had hoped it would be tonight?
Well, I was hoping to see more people at the tailgate.
Yeah.
That was the one thing. Yeah, no, it was rocking. It was good.
Uh-huh.
So I'm hoping if we can continue to play the way we played tonight that we'll double that crowd, triple that crowd, and we got some really good opponents coming in later down the line, and we'll be hopefully we'll be able to compete with those guys and put on a show like we did tonight. But overall, we wanted the guys to execute, and I think they executed well. Clearly with an overmatched opponent, but I give Texas College all the credit in the world. They kept fighting. They didn't stop. they're trying to score late in the game. That didn't give up, and I've been on the other end of those scores, and that's all we want us to do is keep fighting. So I like the way we executed, like the way our offense came out. We wanted to start fast with get the ball and see what we could do. And we run one play, and 69 yards later, Khalil's in the end zone, and defense is up. And it's like, well, okay.
Yeah.
All right, that's about as good a start as we could get right there. So, but overall, I was happy with the defense. I thought that there were some letdowns in contain in the pass rush, but overall we played well, and there was going to be a lot of things to work on both offensively and defensively. There were some things us as coaches and special teams. We had 10 guys out there a couple times, and that's inexcusable for us. So we got to work on that and get our substitutions and all that kind of stuff set up. So it's a great win. I'm proud of the guys. We came out injury-free, I believe, and get ready to go. Forget about it.
Yeah.
Celebrate it tonight, and then get ready to go to Permian Basin next week.
Without being able to look at film, obviously, just your eyes during the game, what did you feel about your offensive line? Bryce and I talked a lot about the big boys up front, and there were huge holes. They were finishing blocks. Your thoughts on your offensive line?
I think that's the biggest thing. They finish blocks, and we tell everybody to finish in a dominant position every play, and I think that they did that. I think that you could see that, and when you give a guy like Khalil a little crease, and as you can see, Jared Compton ran well.
Yep.
But we just got to get him to go north and south all the time instead of 60-70% of the time.
Khalil told us he watches Walter Payton, so we thought that was pretty cool. He watches the Walter Payton highlights.
There's another Chicago Bear I think he runs like, and that's Gale Sayers.
Oh, wow. There you go.
Because he kind of glides.
Yes.
Yes. And if you watch him, he's gliding, and he puts his foot in the ground and goes.
Yes.
So that either one of those guys you can't lose.
No.
Yeah. So.
No.
But and Heston Marshall came in, did a heck of a job.
You were right about that kid, by the way, Heston Marshall. Ooh.
That's once. That's one time in how many 5 years?
I think you surprised some people at your presser on Monday because for two reasons. One, he's a true freshman.
Yep.
But two, he's from Wheeler, which I take, I understand that being from small towns. A lot of times people underlook the players from smaller towns.
Yeah, right.
He was as advertised.
Oh, yeah. And he's going to continue to get better as the years go on, the experience he gets. And, we still got to – I want to put some weight on his frame, give him some more muscle. That's the thing about a kid from a small town is he does everything. So he doesn't have the time in the weight room like maybe some of these guys at bigger schools get. So he'll need that off season, but we're going to use him as much as we can.
Talk a little bit about the defensive front, too, the front seven, because they impressed me quite a bit tonight, as obviously Texas College had a lot of trouble getting any kind of running game going whatsoever in this. It just seemed like they were in attack mode from the onset and just stayed that way.
Well, I think the Texas College, their game plan was to throw the ball.
Right.
Now, I don't know if they didn't think that they could block us or they didn't think that, that they had the running backs they needed to do it. So for whatever reason it was, they came out throwing the ball quite a bit. And I like that. I want to make teams throw the ball because, three things happen good for us and one for the offense.
Right,
So if we can get a team throwing the ball all the time, then I'm all for it. And, you could tell that that team was a first-year coach. And we had a conversation earlier today, and he was talking about how they get hit by COVID. And, they're going to get better. But I was happy with the way we executed. We got two young freshmen in there, Eric Goodman and Jamarcus Head. And, they got some playing time, and they can run. Now, they're undersized, but they can run. Yeah. So I thought we did well. And, again, we'll look at the film and see where we made mistakes and see where we need to correct them.
Executed, I think, like you would want to in the opener. Quick turnaround, though. Last question before we let you get out of here is UT Permian Basin. So it goes conference, so you just switch the dial, and very quickly everything gets much more serious. It's conference play next Saturday.
Yeah, and that's what I told them in the locker room. I said, enjoy this, but, your goal is to win the conference. And it starts right there with the first game. And, it's a bigger game now. I mean, and because of the success they've had recently and our success recently, I think it's a bigger game, and it's going to be a lot more interest in that game now that both programs are where they're at.
Sure.
So, and they'll play Saturday against Southwest Baptist, I believe, in Missouri.
We understood that game has already been canceled.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I heard that Southwest Missouri got it. And again, this is what I'd heard. So they had COVID, and so the UTPB had to cancel that ball game. Now that's what I've heard.
UTPB had COVID?
No. The
Southwest
Baptist.
Yeah, they canceled the first game. It was from Fort Lauderdale. Supposed to play tonight. It was canceled.
Okay.
So maybe that's the switch. Then they were talking about Fort. Okay, all right.
Yeah. So they switched to Southwest.
I stand corrected. Yeah, on that one.
Good job tonight getting the win, 73-0. And so they'll be on the road in Odessa next Saturday. We want to thank our Thunder Vision crew for their great job this evening. The camera operators, Jamie Abbott, Jacob Johnson, Emma McReynolds, Peyton Stokes, also Nicole Williams, our replay operator. And there were lots of great replays tonight, Jacob Griffin. Our director, Chris Jaquist, doing an outstanding job. We'll have him this season for us again for the Lone Star Conference Digital Network and the Thunder Vision. So we appreciate the Buffalo Club for sponsoring our broadcast tonight. And before we get out of here, I know, Bryce, one more note that you want to give again in appreciation.
Right, and as we did during the broadcast tonight, we want to close tonight in honor of those 13 brave servicemen that lost their lives in Afghanistan. And so that will be our closing thought for you tonight, as, again, the Buffaloes win by a final of 73-0. Until next time, have a good evening.